job for you, and Lagesson's one of them, and I think Simone Benoit has been one of them. That doesn't change that you have to go out and bolster the group, because guess what? Morgan Rielly's played a lot, and TJ Brody's played a lot, and they've been really good. Rielly better than Brody, but maybe their influence is starting to wane just a little bit because they've had to soak up so many minutes. So yeah, Lagesson can work in spots. Benoit can work in spots. These bottom two pairings that we've seen might look fine, or that we're going to see tonight might look fine tonight. But at the end of the day, they're going to have to add some talent to that group, or eventually I think we'll see some of the cracks in the foundation.
So with Ilya Samsonov out again tonight, Martin Jones will be backing up. Joseph Woll has become the guy. He has earned the opportunity to become the guy, but maybe with the assistance of having Samsonov out and making those easier decisions. But he will get the start again tonight. He has been playing pretty consistent for the Maple Leafs and has become probably the brightest star in the development system of a goaltender that I can even remember.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's been really great to watch. Someone that's there watching the line rushes and just put them up for us online is David Alter, joining us from Sports Illustrated and the Hockey News. David, how's Ottawa looking?
It's looking pretty good. It's like 10 degrees colder here than it is back home. I don't love that. But other than that, it's always fun to make the nice little drive to Western Ottawa. So it's nice. Should be another great battle. It always is a good one between these two teams.
So we just saw your line rushes, and we don't see Lagesson. Of course, sounds like he has a little bit of a flu bug maybe going around the team. So a different looking decor for the Maple Leafs tonight. Lajoie getting in there for the first time in a little while. Is that what you're getting in terms of information that maybe he's out sick right now?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't take the warm-up, so clearly this was planned, although he did take part in practice, and perhaps it was just a feel thing. We'll get confirmation from Sheldon Keefe afterwards, but usually if you're not planning on playing, you're going to spend the entire optional morning skate, getting the bag skating, getting your off-day workout in, and William Lagesson was not one of those players, so clearly you have to put two and two together. The fact that he missed practice on Sunday and the fact that they do trust him a lot. He went from being a scratch to being a second pair. Simone Benoit is going to move up into that second pair. And then Max Lajoie is only going to play his second game for the Maple Leafs this season. And he's a former Sen. So I think the Leafs are kind of hoping that there'll be some sort of revenge game element to his appearance here as well. But yeah, there is a bug going around. Ilya Samsonov's had it. I've had it earlier in the week too. I'm still recovering from something. You could probably hear it in my voice a little. It's that season, and so it's interesting to see how the Leafs will use this time off that they've had against the Red Hot Senators team coming into tonight.
So this break in the schedule has been interesting in a lot of ways because the Maple Leafs just don't seem to have that mid-season flow about them just yet. But maybe some practice time can help in that regard, and they can build towards being the team that they want to be, at least at the end of the season. But Sheldon Keefe famously not pleased with what he saw in practice, at least most recently. What have you seen from the Leafs in practice this week, and what was Sheldon Keefe just not happy about?
Yeah, I think he just is trying to do whatever he can to hold these guys accountable, right? Like the problem when you don't have games and you don't have a flow is he's worried about some of these, I guess not to call it an off season, but just there's the ebbs and the flows. And I think he's worried about the flow. I don't know which one's worse of the two. The fact that when you just don't play into games, you're not replicating that intensity. And so it may not necessarily be the player's fault, but he's trying to reinforce messages that, hey, at 5-on-5 this season, we haven't been as good as we've been in past years. There's teams in our division that are starting to play better than us. And if we don't pick up the slack, then they're going to overtake us. So they have to kind of come around. That's his message to the group. And so I think it's a good stress message that he's trying to do. And I think after years of seeing his team kind of fly through the division and then kind of go into a downswing toward the playoffs, that he just wants to kind of get this ship righted and see this team actually play good 5-on-5 hockey on a consistent basis again, something that they just really haven't been able to do all season long. And so using those practices to maybe crack the whip is really the only way you can kind of hold these guys accountable. We'll see if it works tonight.
Do you think there's a bit of fatigue with this team? I mean, we've talked about them having 5 regulation wins. They've played almost 45 minutes of overtime, and it's a lot on the top 2 or 3 guys playing these overtime minutes. It's not spread out evenly throughout the team, of course. Is there a fatigue? Is there even like a weirdness around them being like, we know we've only won 5 regulation games. It's so crazy. They're last in the league. Is that a narrative going around the team at all? Or can you glean that maybe that there's a little bit of extra fatigue because of all the extra time they've been playing?
Well, so I always thought fatigue might be a factor. And I just looked at I decided to do some back testing and looked at since 2015-16, when they adopted 3-on-3 as the overtime format. The teams that led the NHL in times that they went beyond 60 minutes have never got past the first round.
Oh.
Like that, or they've missed the playoffs.
Yikes.
So, and the Leafs are the leaders in that category right now. And so, yeah, I mean, fatigue might be a factor. I think it's more so just kind of they can't close out, they can't win games. And it's funny because every time we talk to Sheldon Keefe, it depends on what mood he's in to kind of look at that in a positive or negative. So one week we'll bring it up and he'll say, well, we've been talking about this all season. You guys have just caught up to it now. To 2 days later, well, we're still getting points. The teams aren't closing out against us, and it's a hard league. And so we haven't even played our best hockey yet, and we're still where we are in the standings, and there's 23 teams below them. So it really is the mood. It's really good cop, bad cop Sheldon Keefe with the rest of the group in terms of trying to keep this team in check right now. And so now that they've got games, they don't have narratives to deal with. They'll actually have results, games. I can't remember. I think he said it was like 6 and 10 in the next 10 days or something like that. So they're going to have game after game to try to wash out some of the other past results and try to get into a proper flow. And then there really won't be excuses after that.
We just saw from Leafs PR, they announced that William Lagesson will not be available to tonight's game due to illness. So that's just the official update for you.
There you go. Tied up some loose ends. Yeah, it makes sense, right? Like the inability to separate yourself from the competition kind of tells you about what you might be able to do in the playoffs when the competition ramps up. And again, the Leafs have definitely been in that situation this year where they haven't been able to separate themselves with only 5 regulation victories to an adequate degree. So we'll see if they can start that in the right direction tonight. The big, big picture development this week was, of course, John Klingberg's status being firmed up. And we know Brad Treliving has dodged a bullet here because he invested in John Klingberg real early this summer, and it had a possibility of blowing up in their face massively. That would not have been a good first impression or a good look for Treliving. So there's 2 parts to this. There's, hey, how are they going to go out and improve? But how do they look from within and see what they've got here? The depth defensemen really have held up, Lagesson being one of them. But Rielly has stepped up as well. But recently, maybe we've seen a dip in Rielly's form. What do you make of Morgan Rielly's game, and has the burden that he's had to put on his back with the uncertainty behind him impacted his season already, David?
Yeah, so when I look at Morgan Rielly's season as a whole, I think it's been very good. And I think what you've seen from the Maple Leafs in terms of how they manage Morgan Rielly and what they learned from him last year is a lot of the reluctance to split up that pair with TJ Brody, because I think when they haven't had Liljegren around and they've given Morgan Rielly different defensive pairs. I remember one time last season when he was struggling, he had 5 different defense partners over 5 games. And it was just not good for someone to have that many different defensive partners to try and get into a flow. So this year, I think he's had a pretty strong start. He's had maybe a couple of games where it's dipped a little bit, but some of the other guys have picked up the slack. I don't think it's anything to be too concerned about. But I think what you've seen is, okay, with Morgan Rielly, we got to keep his defensive partner consistent. So instead of moving TJ Brody down to kind of help out everything else, it's the last move they're going to make. It's, again, in the lineup, it's Rielly Brody top pair. It's the one defensive pair that they've not changed since day one. And so I think by doing that, they've allowed that top pair to do its thing. Simone Benoit has been a big benefactor. He's leading the team right now in expected goals among defensemen, which I did not expect going into the season. And so they obviously trust him by moving up to the second pair tonight. And so with Morgan Rielly's case, I think he's got his confidence back. He seems more assertive. Not being hurt early in the season also helps. You could definitely tell he had a hard time kind of coming back from that. But if he's not playing with someone like Luke Shen, who's not here anymore, or Timothy Liljegren, or TJ Brody, I think the Leafs have come to the realization that moving him around too much is going to make his game worse. So you stick with that and let everyone else move up from within. And then at that point, everything else kind of falls into place. And it's another reason why the defense really hasn't let things fall apart like it might have been, or you might have expected without guys like Giordano and Liljegren around.
Just last one quickly for here, David, before I let you go. Did you see Reeves in the skate, the warm-ups there with you? Because now I'm seeing that he's playing and McMahon's out. I don't know if it's like a last-minute switcheroo that they're doing, but it looks like Reeves isn't getting the scratch and he's playing tonight.
Oh, yes. You know what? That is my mistake, actually. I took an old pace. It is Ryan Reeves was there all along.
Oh, no worries.
Bobby, yeah, so I'm gonna change that. Bobby McMahon. We got so excited about the defensive changes that I didn't change anything else in my template.
Oh, good, because
we're sorry for calling that out.
No, I know. I mean, that's all right. I thought maybe there's some shenanigans happening. Reeves coming over the top rope saying, "You're out, kid."
No, that's definitely my bad there. So Ryan Reeves didn't even take part in the optional. It was never. When he doesn't take part, he's playing. Okay. So he was always going to be in there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, lots to come. We'll let you go because we're up against the clock, too. And I know they're about to get ready for their pregame as well. So appreciate you coming on with us. Thanks for all the updates and enjoy tonight's Battle of Ontario.
Yeah, you got it. Thanks so much for having me on.
Anytime. David Alter, Sports Illustrated and the Hockey News. So it looks like the lineup will be a little bit different than originally planned with the last-minute illness with Legason, so that the decor is looking weaker than anticipated. But Lajoie, being a former Sen, I got to get on the books here and try to find a bet for him.
We got time for one of those. Second pairing Simone. Again, the numbers have been good, but this is asking a lot, right? And they continue to ask a lot from these guys who are supposed to play depth roles. Big spots for everyone. More big minutes for Morgan Rielly. We'll see how it holds up tonight.
Okay, on the other side of the break, we'll tee you up for the first period, and we'll give you our player to watch. We got to figure that one out.
It might be Max Lajoie.
It might have to be Max Lajoie. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hi, it's Catherine from Great Canadian Meat. Shopping stress? I get it. Dad wants
a motorcycle.
And Mom wants
a 4x4, please.
But if you get them what they want, it won't be a surprise. So get them the next best thing. Great Canadian Meat.
Did you get my text? I want a trip to the Bahamas.
As if. Our sweet heat beef jerky is hotter than any beach in the Bahamas. And the guy she hopes to meet there. Keep it real. Get them Great Canadian Meat from our store in Whitby or greatcanadianmeat.com.
Hi, I'm Heather Reisman, Chief Book Lover at Indigo, with one of my favorites to delight the fiction lovers on your list. Set in the rich tapestry of 18th century Newfoundland, Michael Crummey's exquisitely written The Adversary is a deeply engaging story of family life and politics, and it rings as true to the current moment as the time in which it's set, and all while revealing so much about the human heart. Visit Indigo and indigo.ca for my full Heather's Pick list this holiday season.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick homes are built with upgraded features and elevated finishes. Chef-inspired kitchens, spa-like en-suites, and a fully finished lower level. Even better, Williamsburg Green has parks, playgrounds, and trails to explore. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
Unhibernate, verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage, I am going to unhibernate by visiting my local Subaru dealer for a holiday bonus. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
The holidays can be a busy time filled with friends and family, get-togethers and gift-giving, long days, late nights, crowded shops and busy streets. But what if there was a place where you could slow it all down? The Thermea Spa Village, a world of bathing havens and breathtaking views. Give the gift of Thermea and invite someone to experience a holiday that unfolds at their own speed. Visit thermea.com to purchase a gift certificate for someone you love.
Ontario is building up our nursing workforce. Since 2018, over 60,000 new nurses have registered to work in Ontario. Last year alone, Ontario added over 15,000 new nurses, a record year. Across the province, there's another 30,000 nursing students in school. We're investing millions in new programs that pay for nurses' schooling, books, and equipment, and attracting highly trained nurses from around the world by breaking down barriers so they can get to work sooner. See all the ways we're connecting you to care. Ontario.ca/yourhealth. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Thinking about investing? Need insurance advice? Cooperators can help. So if you need our next car should totally be a convertible investment plan, or but our son will want to drive it too, insurance plan. We do both. Cooperators. Investing in your future together. Mutual funds and related investment products are offered through Cooperators Financial Investment Services, Inc. Terms and conditions apply.
439 Ciao, I'm Dominic Primucci. The holidays are about sharing the love. Let's join forces this season and help Sick Kids Foundation. Purchase one of our limited edition Chow tote bags and proceeds will go towards healing the future. Available in stores and online while quantities last. From our family to yours, Buon Natale a tutti.
439 Pizza Nova. Are you looking for a trusted and experienced online high school where you can earn credits or upgrade your marks? Learn with Ontario Virtual School, Ontario's leading online provider.
You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-smoker rate class. Exam required to qualify.
You're listening to CBS Sports Radio.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Bart Winkler. 855-212-4227. 855-212-4CBS. Thanks for being with us on what is a unusual night in sports. I'm enjoying this NBA in-season tournament. It's interesting. It's not terrible. These games in Vegas, we'll see about the Lakers and Pelicans game tonight. They kind of have a bubble feel. You know, we can't really see the crowd. There's fans there, but it's very dark. The stadium is lit very dark, which means it's not lit, is another way to say it. I don't know. It's just different. Not a lot of like fans in attendance. I'm sure some people bought tickets that live in Vegas, or maybe you're a Pacers fan that happened to be in Vegas this week anyway, and you're like, oh, wow, this is crazy. But I don't know of too many people that from their respective cities. Los Angeles may be different. It's a little closer. And, you know, Lakers fan base is quite large and expansive. But how many people from New Orleans, Indianapolis, and Milwaukee were able to, with 2 days' notice, swing together a plane ticket to Vegas, lodging, and getting off, and then getting childcare or pet care if need be? How many people are able to just do that at the drop of a hat? So maybe as this in-season tournament goes, some things that they could change. We'll see. Again, we'll see what like tonight is. We'll see what the final looks like. I'm sure the final will bring out a bunch of people that have more of that big fight Saturday night feel, which is always good for Vegas. This is a regular season NBA game at 2:00 local time. It's odd no matter where it would be played, but it is being played in Vegas. The courts, I appreciate that the courts are different enough that we can tell it's different, but the courts are atrociously bad. The Lakers wanted to wear their black jerseys tonight, but they were told no by the NBA because they did not clash well with the court. Pacers are wearing their golds. Bucks are wearing their whites. So it's relatively easy to see everything that's going on in this game. I haven't seen what the Pelicans are wearing. It'd probably be white tonight. So you can tell who's who, but the whole stripe down the middle, the blue on red, the red on red is really bad. Those courts. So I appreciate them trying to do something to make you feel like, hey, this is different, but the courts are ugly and bad, and I do not like them at all. I think that the format of the tournament is good. I wouldn't try to expand it. I think group play is very good. It adds importance to the games right from the jump. I would like to see the divisions make more sense, if that makes sense. I don't like that you have the teams in the East are playing teams in the West, but it's like randomized who they play. Do the divisions. Do the divisions. We have no idea who's in what division ever. We don't know. We always see the standings. It's the 15 teams. They are still NBA divisions. Make that the round robin. Get some of that rivalry going. Juice it up, spice it up. Makes a lot more sense to me. Maybe they do that, or maybe they just kind of keep it unchanged. But it is probably here to stay. The players have appreciated it the more that it's gone on. I thought Kevin Durant had some interesting comments where he said it felt like a playoff game. I'm into this. Even though at the beginning of the tournament, he was used as one of the guys in the advertising video that saw the court, and they used like, oh, this is purple, cool. So he hated it when they used him in that commercial, and now eventually he enjoys this kind of tournament. We got to see LeBron and KD in kind of a high-stakes game. That was fun. We're seeing the emergence of Tyrese Halliburton for the Pacers. That's pretty fun. So there's a lot of good coming out of this tournament, and it's a way to create something a little more excitable in the NBA in this time of the season where, there's normally just a bunch of games being held in November, and we all say they don't matter and that the NBA doesn't start till Christmas, and nobody's really said that yet this year because this tournament has been captivating. The numbers in terms of attendance and viewership have increased. And so for those reasons, it's working. Now tweak it a little bit. Maybe there's other things you could do for the winner. Could you give the winner? I saw this idea being floated around today. Not only because there's a lot of ideas on what you should do with the winner of this tournament. Winner of this tournament's getting money. And that's good enough for a lot of these players. I see some ideas saying winner of the tournament should get an automatic bid into the playoffs. That's really a bad idea. That's immensely bad. What do you do all season? You then just coast? You just rest guys? You're in the playoffs? I mean, you do. I don't know. It's dumb. I did like the proposal. Give the winning team an added win. If they lose, you don't count it as a loss. But if you win the tournament, you get one added win to your regular season. So it means something, and it may not matter, but you won a tournament, you get an extra win. It might mean the difference between you getting in the playoffs or not, or the 1 seed or not, or a 4 seed home court or not. That, I think, can be a little more digestible. That I don't hate. But to flat out guarantee a team into the playoffs is kind of dumb. A lot of the players were being asked, the ones that made it to Vegas and were doing the media, do you guys want a banner? Do you want a parade? And there was a lot of no, we're good with the money. There was a lot of that. So it is interesting. There's basketball on a Thursday afternoon in December, and we are watching it. And there'll be a game tonight between the Lakers and the Pelicans. Bucks have a 94-91 lead right now over the Pacers in the third quarter. Milwaukee outscored the Pacers 43-28 after the Pacers had a 14-point advantage in the second. So this is a back and forth game, pretty good game, and hopefully we get an exciting finish here and then more excitement tonight. If basketball's not your thing and you are a football diehard, you must be a football diehard if you are going to partake in this contest tonight between the New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Patriots and Steelers, this is a matchup that, in the last 20 years has been meaningful. You've got your Big Bens, your Tom Brady's. There's been playoff games. There's been late season home field positional games. There's been battles. There's been riveting contests. Tonight, not so much. You got a Steelers team that is on the cusp of the playoffs, but without Kenny Pickett for a few weeks, and we'll be going with Mitch Trubisky. You've got a Patriots team who keeps their quarterback a secret, even though both of the ones that they could start are bad, and they're going with Bailey Zappi tonight. So, woody-doo. This game's in Pittsburgh. The over-under is very low. I think a lot of people expect a low-scoring game. A lot of people expect sacks and interceptions and field goals. Sometimes in these kind of games, you do get a big result or some fluky plays or some high-scoring situations, but this is going to be like Al Michaels. You want Thursday Night Football to be the greatest game every week? It can't always be Cowboys-Seahawks. Sometimes it's going to be a 2-10 team against a playoff competitive team with a backup quarterback. That's the Thursday Night Football that we know and love. But they've got a game to play. Bill Belichick, who we talked about a little bit before, I really want to understand what's going through his head. I really want to understand where this guy is coming from, what he uses to motivate himself week in and week out right now. Because you look at his demeanor, and it does feel very similar to the demeanor that he has throughout the good seasons. I don't see him throwing headsets. I don't see him going crazy.
Leafs play it back along the boards for Marner. His pass for Tavares. He was too well covered by Stützle. And now the Sens with a lead pass from Artem Zub to the line. That has to hold up as there was a man trapped inside the zone. Now Zub will bounce it down into the Toronto zone. Played along the boards now by TJ Brody. Back of the net it goes. Batherson coming out of the corner on his backhand, turns to the forehand, lets a shot go, and it's into the glove of Joseph Woll, who starts this game at 8-5-1, 2.82 his goals against average, .915 his save percentage.
You've already brought it up that the Ottawa Senators have not played a lot. They are last in the Eastern Conference with 20 points. They are 9 back of the Tampa Bay Lightning, who have the first wild card spot. 9 back at Tampa. They have 7 games in hand in early December.
And I'm betting you most of those are on the road.
Yeah, they've got...
Although one is probably being made up here.
Ottawa's got a long stretch. They've got 2 5-game road trips coming up.
Kampf leaning into the face-off circle. And it is scrummed in their skates, dug out, but a quick shot went off a leg and harmlessly wide into the near corner. And it is launched by Gregor out into the center ice area. Kampf trying to bring it on. Gregor races after it for a bit of a forecheck, and it comes back out at center ice, where it is played back out into neutral territory there by Max Lajoie. Lajoie to the far side. A rink-wide pass hit a skate. That forces Timmins back into his own end. He'll find Lajoie. Lajoie playing it up the center, and Gregor plays it in on the left wing. Down the boards goes Max Domi. Couldn't get it in front of the net. Gets some help there from Ryan Reeves, who's on this line, and maybe a late addition to the fourth line, as it is sort of in the mix. Now a pass sent by Benoit to the far side, comes out at center ice. The Leafs will tip it right back in again, but it's a delayed offside. Senators back in their own zone. Jacob Chychrun getting it ahead. And you can hear the Leaf chant in the building at the Canadian Tire Center. And once again, it is well sprinkled with blue and white. Leafs to center and launched in by Robertson. Nylander goes into the forecheck and goes back of the net with Zub. Puck is dug out. and grabbed by Josh Norris and played ahead at center. McEwen getting it up on the left wing, and it's pumped down into the Toronto zone. Woll couldn't trap it. Played back into the corner, but the Leafs quickly get it out to Nyes. Nyes drops it back, and Matthews comes through center ice. Had it knocked off his stick. Nyes is able to carry on in across the line, working to the backhand. Played it around back of the net. Matthews unable to come up with it, and it'll be played ahead and out into the center ice area and down into the Leaf end by Ottawa. Morgan Rielly starts back for Toronto. Leaf defense core is really paper thin and patchwork. The Toronto Marlies are sprinkled amongst them. Played up on the right wing side and out at center ice. Benoit gets it ahead. Bertuzzi across the line. A nice pass looking for Tavares, who was tripped up there. The puck goes around back of the net. John Tavares, 4 points shy of 1,000 for his wonderful career. Brought to center ice by Sanderson. Long shot and easily caught and handled and held by Joseph Woll, and the faceoff will come in the Toronto zone.
Now going back to the schedule for the Ottawa Senators, just 5 road games to this point, although in fairness, 2 of their home games were played in Sweden, so not the usual drive to the rink for those 2. But 12 of the next 16 are going to be on the road for the Ottawa Senators, and as we said, mixed in there a couple of 5-game road trips. But as much as sometimes you look at that and say they could be in a lot of trouble, it's amazing how many teams, even the LA Kings, 10-0 on the road this season. Amazing how many teams actually can play their best hockey in extended road trips.
Gregor couldn't get the puck out. It goes to the side of the Leaf goal. Timmins tying up his man. David Kampf punches it further into the corner, then goes after it. It comes onto the wing, and a shot from an angle. Smothered again by Woll. 4 shots on goal for Ottawa. The Leafs have not countered one at the Ottawa net.
Really haven't had any offensive zone possession, have they?
Yeah. Familiar face back with the Ottawa Senators, Jacques Martin. One of our favorites.
Yeah, it was a big part of those late 90s, early 2000s rivalries with the Leafs.
Yeah, sure was. Sure was. And he's going to be a very important addition to the staff. A puck right at the side of the goal and was right at the knee of Woll. He was looking around for it, and one of his defensemen spoke up and then got to him and tucked it underneath the pad to bring another face-off in the Toronto zone. He caught it or knocked it down with his glove, but then it was right in front of him, right at his knee.
It's almost similar to the goal he gave up against the Boston Bruins, the third goal, where he thought he'd gloved it, dropped down and was knocked in, and gave the Bruins a 3-2 lead at the time.
Morgan Rielly, a nice move behind the net to gain skating room and comes to center, hits the line, weaves in on the right side, couldn't get around. Chychrun plays it around the boards to the left wing side to Marner, or to Gregor, who gets it back to the point. Rielly shot in traffic, knocked away. The puck still free. Forsberg with his first save there, I believe, although it has not been put up on the board yet. Played down into the corner, and it comes back up on the near wing, and Brody trying to keep it in. Stützle gets it out at center ice. Leafs trying to chip it back in again. Kampf unable to come up with it. Puck now banked off the near boards deep into Ottawa territory. And yes, 1 shot on goal for Toronto. Anton Forsberg, 5-4-0, 2.91, but an 8.91 save percentage for Ottawa. Leafs break out on the left wing with Robertson. Robertson, a diagonal shoot into the right wing side. Domi unable to get there, but then it's quickly sent to the net off the wing then by Brody, but out come the Sens at center ice, led by Brady Tkachuk. Tkachuk taken wide. Bit of a slew foot there to take Lajoie into the corner, but the Leafs are able to break it back, and now Robertson launches a bouncing shot in on Forsberg that is knocked aside. 14:15 to play, first period, no score. Leafs and the Senators. Leafs are 6-1-2 in their last 9, 5 1-goal victories in there as a shot. Followed up again by Woll, way out at the top of the crease, down to make the save and cover up on it.
Well, Joseph Woll comes in with a pretty impressive record, 8-5-1. Now his first overtime loss of the season came at the hands of the Boston Bruins. But for Joseph Woll, and I think this is a bit of a concern for the Leafs overall, 8 of his last 9 starts, 3 goals against or more. And we saw early on in the season, you remember especially those back-to-back games in Washington and Dallas. Back-to-back 1-goal games against, and was absolutely the best player on the ice for both.
Senators win the face-off. Backhand shot towards the net, went wide. Near corner, McCabe, and Nyes trying to play it back as the defenseman gets it ahead. Benoit playing it high and out and down into Ottawa territory. Sanderson back to recover it. Played it ahead at center. Brought on by Claude Giroux. The veteran getting a return pass and a diving play made there by the defense and knocked into the corner. Great play by McCabe, I believe it was, who came all the way back to get in that shooting lane and make a great defensive stab at it.
Well, 7 minutes into this game, and the Ottawa Senators have been much more dangerous than the Leafs.
So it's the old adage, well, they've had a lot of time off, they should have a lot of jump. No, they're going to be stale, and that could take a while to get going. No, I guess we've gotten our answer on both occasions here. Pass ahead up on the wing. The Leafs don't get it out. And now Rielly punches it out at center. And here's Tavares, 2-on-1 break. He's got Bertuzzi. Tavares in. Pass in front for Bertuzzi, and it was deflected away by Kubalik. Bertuzzi back to the point. Shot taken there, and it's blocked. The rebound comes back to the blue line once more. And unable to keep it in there was Lajoie. Leafs will get it back out into the center ice area. Thought that Tavares either had to shoot the puck after he didn't make the pass, right? He got in so tight that pass was really going to be a difficult maneuver to get it over to.
It was really a 2-on-2 by the time he threw the pass over.
Yeah, you're right. Here's Nylander in on the pass on the right wing side, and it comes back to the blue line, but it's past the defense and all the way back into the Leaf end. Woll playing it up on the wing. Timmins didn't get it. 2-on-1 down low for Ottawa. Holy Mackinac, what a save! He was the author of his own demise, but he stuck that left hand out and saves a goal. What a save made by Joseph Woll off Tarasenko.
Well, and Tarasenko, it's a 2-on-1 down low between Giroux and Tarasenko. Wide open net. And Joseph Woll can't celebrate because he forced himself to make the save with a giveaway.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Remembering the unforgettable beats. Spit pimpin', baby. The iconic rap verses. Cause that's what I'm monster do. The artists who shaped the culture. I know when that hotline bling. Flex your musical muscles with a new channel featuring hip-hop from the 2000s. Is it worth it? Let me work it. In the 2010s. Be humble. Holla, holla, sit down. On Flex 2K. Now. Sirius XM Channel 49 and the Sirius XM included in all trials and popular plans.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Defensive Game for Tampa. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
90 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Ottawa Senators have had, about 6 shots here in the first period? 7 now. The 7th was the most dangerous and the biggest save made by Joseph Woll. First period presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Leafs get the puck out at center. Gregor up on the wing, and the defensive zone faceoff, and Ryan Reeves is usually replaced by Yarncrook, who is out there now. Pass into the slot, knocked off the stick of Tarasenko. He's had the best scoring chance in the game. Puck back of the net. Benoit loses it. There's Ottawa with a pass down low that caroms off the end boards and comes back to the point. Fed by Chychrun to the left wing side. Drop back to the point again. Long shot in traffic. Big rebound in front. 2 saves made there by Woll. Another shot against. And it's finally cleared into the corner. And Gregor gets it out into the neutral zone. Rolling down into Ottawa territory. So far, it has been the Joseph Woll story.
Well, shots on goal already now 9-3 favoring the Senators. We're not even at the midway mark of the first period.
Artem Zub comes out with a pass and over the line. Broken up there by Brody. Swept around on the left wing side for Rielly. Rielly tried to get it ahead there for Robertson. That didn't work. And now here are the Senators trying to break out. They get to center ice. Chartier sending it into the right wing corner. Bunted back at the net by Zach McEwen. Played back to the point. It bounces over Artem Zub's stick, but he's able to keep it in. Knocked down in front of the Leaf zone and cleared out off a stick, apparently. Linesmen wave it off. Linesmen are Brandon Grillo and Steve Barton. Trevor Hansen and Chris Schnelker are the referees tonight. No score. Glad you're along with us. Zub gets it ahead. Long shot went well wide of the goal. Puck comes up on the near boards. Brought out now by Benoit. Simon Benoit gets it ahead to Tavares. Now to Bertuzzi. His shot was well wide. Trapped by the Leafs on the right wing side. Played back in behind the net. Grabbed again and sent into the corner. Bertuzzi centers. Marner got a wrist shot away and it went over top of the goal. Leafs with 3 shots on goal at this point and really without a scoring chance. Played high, volleyballed out at center ice by Benoit. Pass partially blocked, carried in over the line now and into the corner by Ridley Gregg. Gregg sends it back to the point. Trapped there by Bernard Docker. Got it over on the left wing side and in along the boards. Trying to work out with Sanderson and it's broken up and the Leafs have it back at center. Marner just launching it high into Ottawa territory and peeling to the bench. Nyes trying to work it along the boards and does. Got it away there for Matthews. He couldn't get a shot away. Matthews steals the puck back though. Sends it around into the corner back of the net. Good play by Nylander to lift a stick to maintain possession. To the side of the goal. Nyes in front. And Matthews slid it wide of the near post. First good scoring chance the Leafs have had, and it's not a shot on goal. There's a shot by Matthews that is blocked. Nylander circles. Sends it towards the net, blocked there. Punched around the boards. It'll come to the near point. Kept in by Lajoie. Lajoie down the left wing boards, trying to get it back to the blue line, but it's a bad decision as out comes Kubalik to center. Kubalik with a long shot, and the even worse decision there to take that shot with no traffic in front of Woll. Why don't I hit him right in the crest with it? Lajoie starts back for Toronto. At center, errant pass. Sens bring it back in. It's a delayed offside. Toronto with Rielly up on the left wing for Max Domi. Domi will play it down into the corner. Max Domi leads the Leafs in penalty minutes, which is nothing new for that family. Now here are the Sens back in with a shot, and that was deflected just wide of the Leaf goal, and it's punched out into the center ice area. He scored his first goal as a Maple Leaf. 6,454 days in between Domi family members scoring in a Leaf uniform. 7:47 to go. First period, no score. McEwen in on the right side, going wide. Set it through the goal crease. Good backhand and another good save made by Woll. He's been the star of the period, and another shot is swallowed up by the rookie netminder, and he will hold on. Young man from just outside St. Louis, Missouri. And he has been the star of the first period. The Leafs nothing, the Senators nothing. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like salivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate. As in, while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer for a holiday bonus. And welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick single-family homes come with a long list of features you've always dreamed of. Gourmet kitchens, freestanding tubs, and even fully finished lower levels. Dare to compare and you'll see why it's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Along with Jim Ralph, Armin Zagarian, and Austin Mackey handling all of the important stuff. And the Leafs and the Sens are scoreless.
Leafs finally do get a shift, though, where they hem the Ottawa Senators in. It's the Matthews line, but really nothing got to the net.
Puck goes off a leg into the far corner in the Leafs zone. Now dugout. Tarasenko got it back to the point. Zub to his defense partner. To Tarasenko right on the blue line. Fed off on the left wing, and a long shot went wide. Cut off by Brody. Now Rielly punches it to the line, but not out. Leafs trying to get a handle on it, but an errant pass by Ottawa is going to help them out by sending it all the way down into the Ottawa zone. 7:05 to go first period. No score. Stützle couldn't get away at center. Neither could Batherson. Now Batherson turns. Had his pass go off the skate of Bertuzzi. And Zub will try it now to send it out into the neutral zone. And Batherson sends it back. Now Stützle on the left wing. Tried to flip it ahead. Bounces in over the line. Giroux trying to get through. Is taken down. No call there as the puck is centered in front of the net, and it's back to the point now on a shot. That went wide of the Leaf goal. Kept alive by Giroux. Pass into the slot area. Norris trying to get it in front. These play it off the boards, but it won't clear. Norris down into the corner. Attacks the net and goes around back of the goal. On his backhand, stops up on the far half boards. Tied up there by Benoit. Puck bounces to Tavares, and he gets it elevated enough to get it out. Leafs in need of a change.
Boy, the Tavares line has spent a lot of time in their own end here in the opening period.
Played down into the Toronto zone once more. Gregor gets it around on the boards to the left wing side and quickly out to Matthews, who makes a nifty move to gain the zone. In on the right side, little toe drag move, goes back to the net. Tried to center as it comes back to the point, but the Leafs are not in position as Nylander has to get all the way back to come up with it. Out Nyes. Circles back to his defenseman. Plays it up on the right side. Backhanded in. Yarncrook into the forecheck, but gets there late. And the Sens get it out at center ice. Matthew Joseph dropping it back. Hamonic to the line. Long shoot in on Woll. That's number 12 on the period for Ottawa. Long pass up on the left wing for Rielly. Rielly going wide. Got a shot off an angle that was mishandled by Forsberg, but no one there to take advantage of the bobble. And it's cleared now into the Toronto zone where Domi comes up with the loose puck. And now Rielly will start an attack back the other way. But an errant pass onto the stick of the Sens. And they'll play it back out at center. Rielly launches a bouncing shot in on goal. Handled easily there by Forsberg. And Artem Zub will start back. He gets it up on the wing to center. Backhanded to the line and in. Try to work the boards. Chartier cut off on the side by Timmins. It comes back in front of the Leaf goal, and a shot is deflected wide of the Leaf net, and it's gone off that stick up into the screen and out of play. Joseph Woll has been the star. It is a 0-0 first period. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The 2023 MLS Cup Final is set, and you can hear all of the pulse-pounding drama on Sirius XM FC.
That is the exclamation point.
It's the Columbus Crew, fresh off a thrilling comeback win over Cincinnati. Playing host to defending champion LAFC.
Finishes it off.
It's a box office MLS Cup Final. Columbus versus LAFC. Extended pregame coverage begins Saturday at 2:30 Eastern, followed by kickoff at 4 on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
Under review.
And if someone says, well, he's good in the room, you know what? They don't have a good in the room stat in the standings. I've yet to find that category. It's one of the most overplayed things. They better be good in the room. That's the least you better bring when you join a National Hockey League team.
Under review with Mick Kerr. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores.
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter.
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Radio Network.
Leafs nothing and the Ottawa Senators nothing. And the story of the period has been the play of goaltender Joseph Woll.
He really has had his best moments in the National Hockey League on the road as well. Only 2 regulation losses on the road. Lost his last
Rielly
one, though, against Pittsburgh.
Tried to make a pass and fanned on it completely, and then Brody had to make a sprawling save as it's played up on the wing now for Bertuzzi. He circles back, finds Brody on the far side, and Brody gets it ahead off Tavares' stick, but they don't get in the zone. Another attack coming here from Ottawa. Stützle on a knee, plays it out into the center ice area in the midst of a change coming here for Ottawa. 3:57 to go in the first period. No score. 12-6 the shots. And if there is one out of the 6 for Toronto that was dangerous, I might be really tough to find that and circle it for you.
You might have to look at the tape like they always do and start taking them away.
Played up on the left wing. Rielly tipping it to the blue line. Nyes couldn't get in deep. Rielly chipping it back. Matthews down the left wing. Nice pass to Nyes, and he didn't shoot it. Good play made by the defense at the end to tie him up, but he had a chance to deliver the shot, and he should have. Another long shot steered wide by Woll. Down into the corner.
I think he might have been looking for Willie Nylander on the other side, and that little delay cost Nyes the scoring chance.
Pass to the near side. Travis Hamonic, the veteran, sending it into the Toronto zone. Woll plays it up to Benoit. Simon Benoit couldn't get it by the forecheck of Gregg. Now they do get it out at center, and the Leafs chip it in, and Yarncrook goes racing in after it. It was in the non-trapezoidal area, and he had to play it before the goaltender could get to it. Played back to the blue line, and now the Sens with Joseph playing it to an open wing and getting it out. Oh, a hit from behind there on Timmins is going to be the first penalty of the game.
I think it was Ridley Gregg was the Ottawa Senator with the hit. And right before he makes contact, Timmins had turned towards the Leaf bench looking for the bouncing puck. And by the time he found it, Gregg had drilled him right into the numbers.
First power play for the Maple Leafs, who have not been very good over the last 5 games. 1 of 15, but they are 8th in the NHL. 66 attempts. Ottawa has 85 attempts and played 2 fewer games.
It's incredible. It's been a struggle for the Senators on the power play, but on the penalty kill, they've killed off just 10 of 17 in their last 5 games. They might be looking forward to the Leaf power play, as the Leafs have scored just 1 power play goal in the last 15 power play opportunities in the last 5 games coming into this.
17:25, the time of the penalty. The puck is scrummed. Both players knocked down, and Ottawa is able to get it out and down the ice. Morgan Rielly starts out. The veteran comes to center. The drop pass will go to Matthews. To the line and in on the left wing for Tavares. Matthews follows it up. Got it down into the corner. Tavares trying to free it up. It goes back of the net. Still in a big scrum back there. Ottawa gets a hold of it. Sanderson plays it to the line, but not out. Morgan Rielly with a drive. And into the glove. Forsberg saw that. There was no one in front of the net to screen him.
And we had a discussion in the commercial break. You see so many guys like Alex Killorn that have made a living on the power play just standing in front of the net, taking the eyes away. Mitch Marner sort of did a flyby, tried to time it. But for Forsberg, this wasn't having to look over any bodies.
Or having a big butt like Dave Andrechuk stuffed into your chest. Here are the Leafs with the power play. Down low goes Marner in the far corner. Now to Tavares. Tried to center. It comes off a stick back to Morgan Rielly. Right wing side Nylander closing with a shot. That was blocked. This time Tavares was in front of the net. But now here's a break now for Matthew Joseph. But Rielly gets back well to cover up. And then Woll will scoop it around back of the net. 50 seconds left in the power play. 1:25 to go in the period.
And let's look for Tyler Bertuzzi to go to the front of the net and stand there.
Timmins dropping it back. Brought through center ice to Marner. Marner in across the line to Matthews. On the wing to Nylander. Back to Matthews. Couldn't get around Brandstrom. And it is cleared by Ottawa to center ice. And Timmins goes back into his own zone. Matthew Timmins in the preseason and even last year was a great point producer, especially on the power play.
On fire in preseason.
Here the Leafs in across the line. Left wing side. Bertuzzi in front. And Domi just kind of swept it instead of cradling the puck and getting a real good look at the net. And when he swept it about 2 feet wide of the goal. Here's Nyes back in. Drop past Bertuzzi. Closing with a pass. And it was just out of the reach on the far side. Domi keeping it in. Ottawa able to get it out and have killed off the penalty. And a lead pass. Breakaway attempt. Scores! This will be interesting. Josh Norris scores the goal. But boy, he was a long way inside the Leaf zone when he finally cradled the puck. And we'll have to get a look at this. But at this point, it's 1-0 Ottawa.
Comes right after the penalty expires and right after 2-minute power play with the Leafs really did not do a lot. As we're trying to get a look, Connor Timmins was the last man back. Or the last defenseman back anyway. And
I don't know
nobody
about
picks up Norris. You think it's close, huh?
I think it's close. I really do.
We're watching it again.
His feet. I don't know. This will be interesting. And the Leafs are on a real roll here.
Wow. I think the skates, I'm with you. I think the skates are over
definitely
the line.
Over the line, yes.
Before the puck gets there.
Well, the Leafs are looking at it. And now we get the thumbs up, at least from the official. But no, the Leafs are not going to challenge. Boy, I would have thought that one might have been worth it. But it is Norris who scores on a breakaway. 1-0 Ottawa in the final minute of the period as a shot deflects into the corner. It's not been a very good period for the Maple Leafs at all.
Well, maybe the one good thing is it's only 1-0.
Ninth goal of the season for Norris, who's having a great start to his campaign. And has the whistle here. Is the period over? Yes, it is. I believe it is. Well, now I'm not really sure. Yes, it is. Okay. It is a 1-0 Ottawa lead after 20 minutes of play. And we'll ship it off to Eilish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert. The Leafs down 1-0 after a breakaway goal from Norris. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
A Sirius XM Comedy exclusive presentation.
Everyone's asking me why I would sign up for this.
The OnlyFans roast of Whitney Cummings.
I'm a female comedian, okay?
Only on Sirius XM Comedy with Jim Norton, Annie Letterman, Bob the Drag Queen, Donnell Rawlings, and more.
Female comedians are American heroes, all right?
All this week on Sirius XM Comedy Greats, Raw Comedy, and She's So Funny.
Uncensored comedy is not dead. It's just on new platforms.
And listen anytime on the Sirius XM app.
I love this platform.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots. And the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that. And until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you. They'll wow the fans. They'll win or lose 5-4. But right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
24/7 hockey talk.
One of the greatest goaltenders of all time, Patrick Waugh. When you put your hands up, did you know at that moment that you were done?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, it happened. Just gave me a chance to have a fresh start somewhere else and be traded to Colorado was a good opportunity. Sometimes you need that little, change, and it was welcome for me.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91.
And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
18 months ago, I had New Flyers head coach John Tortorella. And I asked him what he was worried about the club, and he said, I don't like the room. We have a bad room. And I'm like, you haven't even coached this team yet. A year and a half later, John Tortorella loves his room. He loves this team, and he loves that they compete every night.
Point with Boomer Gordon.
1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Patrick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
It's one of the most overplayed things. They better be good in the room. That's the least you better bring when you join a National Hockey League team.
Under Review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The best hockey lives here.
Martins gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
The Fan
and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert here for your intermissions and your postgame on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Leafs trail 1-0 on a goal with 27 seconds left in the first period. A familiar type incident for the Maple Leafs. First minutes and last minutes of periods being killers, really. And that was a tough way to go into the locker room on a kind of slow period to begin with.
Yeah, and I would imagine Sheldon Keefe did not love the play by Max Domi. Kind of a no-look turnaround shot and a power play results in a Josh Norris breakaway goal, and the Maple Leafs go into a period or a first intermission down 1-0 after, probably earning that score line. I don't know. We've been talking about slow Josh Norris breakaway goal, and the Maple Leafs go into a period or a first intermission down 1-0 after, probably earning that score line. I don't know. We've been talking about slow starts, end of periods, what have you. I guess you can kind of run around in circles and talk about different things at different times. But this Maple Leafs team has had this disjointed start to the year in terms of their scheduling, and I kind of felt coming in, are they not going to have a sloppy first period? Is it not going to look like there's just not much pushback, not much effort? I think they had 6 shots before that power play that they got gifted late. Like, they just didn't really have anything in the way. I think they had 6 shots before that power play that they got gifted late. Like, they just didn't really have anything in the way of pop in that first period. And again, it felt like we saw this, last week against Florida Panthers? It just feels like history repeats itself. And until you can get into that flow, you have those sort of periods where it just doesn't look right.
Hasn't that been Sheldon Keefe's kind of MO? Slow starts to seasons, slow starts to games. And I feel like we've seen that now time and time again. I understand not playing a lot of hockey since your last game was Saturday night, but isn't that an excuse if you're like an NHL professional hockey player? You should be well rested. You should be shot out of a cannon. Like there's no jet lag. You didn't come home from Sweden. You went to Ottawa. It's not very far. There shouldn't be an excuse to come out and have a lack of urgency. This Ottawa Senators team is kind of in the same boat. They've only played 20 games this season. They haven't got their rhythm. They're at the 29th in the entire NHL. They shouldn't be outplaying you because they have a lot to play for too, but you certainly do if you're the Maple Leafs. So I don't love slow starts. I think now it lingers. You go in that locker room, you just got a goal scored against you. It's a tough way to bookend a period. This is where you got to get that killer instinct, Justin.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out something in the intermission. But Sheldon Keefe, not that he was already excusing it, was kind of talking about it today. Like, you can't simulate what a game feels like because he was unhappy with the practice habits, unhappy with what he saw. Yeah,
he said it was bleep
practice.
And horse bleep.
Exactly. And that's that stuff surprises me because 5 days off, a break in the schedule, or 4 days off, a break in the schedule where you can actually not just rest, not just recuperate, but work on things and do the full extent of the recovery process while also working. Like, it's time that should be well spent, right? It's time that should be advantageous to you. And yet it always seems to result in something like we saw. And maybe it's just the simple fact that you can't simulate what an NHL game feels like. But again, if you're saying that, then we're just excusing what we saw on the ice, which was, to put it mildly, lackluster.
Joseph Woll, probably the brightest star of that period for the Maple Leafs. He made an incredible save on Vladimir Tarasenko. That one's going to be all over the internet. He has been that consistent piece for the Maple Leafs when they have started slow or they've gotten hemmed in their own zone. He's the type of guy that doesn't seem to waver his preparation. Maybe the Maple Leafs could learn that from him, but he's young and he's you don't find that often in young players that obviously have their habits set where he's showing up. And yeah, he hasn't played since Saturday night either, but it didn't look like he missed a beat. That save was awesome. That'll be the highlight so far of the Maple Leafs game. But slow start to period, goal in the final minute, Joseph Woll being your steady. Those are kind of like the three things that you expect from a Maple Leafs first period. I also heard broadcast that they're the only team without a 5-on-3 in the entire NHL. Again, took them, I think, way, way, way into the season last year to get one. And again, they're still without one, which is just a weird stat.
Yeah, and one other thing that's sort of revealing itself here is we're seeing who Sheldon Keefe trusts. And this is not exactly breaking news that Ryan Reeves might be on the outside looking in, but we're seeing already in this game they shorten the bench a little bit. They go with the optimized lineup, the optimized third line, which features two fourth-liners in Noah Gregor and David Kampf. We're seeing some Gregor, Kampf, Yarncroke already, and that's something Sheldon Keefe, I guess, does more on the road when you don't have as much control over the matchups. But if you can't trust three members of the bottom six, of which include Max Domi, who gets paid a decent amount, Ryan Reeves, who gets paid until, the year 2026? That's a lot, right? And you can quibble with these signings because these players still 20-plus games into the season aren't being trusted, and we saw at least one example from one of those two players in Max Domi, who was partly responsible for giving up that goal with a bad play on the offensive end, and that's one thing Sheldon Keefe wants to eliminate from Max Domi's game.
Oh, it's too bad because he had such a great moment on Saturday night. He got his first as a Maple Leaf. The pop from the crowd was probably the loudest besides the game winner or the game tying one from Austin Matthews.
People have been waiting for that moment.
They were waiting, and I really hoped that it would, spark something for Max Domi. Lots of hockey to be played left, but I would hope you carry that momentum over into game right afterwards. But it's been a few days, so maybe he forgot about the feeling of scoring your first Maple Leaf goal.
Maybe. And I will say, if you supercut all of our first period intermissions, I don't know if this is the 10th game we've done, but we've done a handful now. After the first period, the first intermission, the tenor has been a lot like this. and then things change in the second, and then things might be totally different when we do our short little blurb after the game. It just seems this is the pattern the Maple Leafs fall in, and they've fallen into this trap, at least one more time.
All right, we'll take a quick break and come back with a couple more thoughts before the second period. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Get the perfect holiday gifts for hockey fans on your list at NHLshop.ca. The world's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear with unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics, Adidas, and more. All the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special holiday offer. NHLshop.ca, a Fanatics experience.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
Hi, it's Catherine from Great Canadian Meat. What makes a great gift? Well, I think we can all agree that a gift that's homemade is a great gift. A gift that's the same shape as a stocking, that's important. A gift they can eat? Definitely. And if they like to share, a gift you can eat too. Well, that settles it. Our Great Canadian Meat salami and pepperoni sticks are the perfect gift and a perfect addition to your charcuterie board. Pick up Great Canadian Meat at our store in Whitby or online at Great Canadian Meat, your charcuterie board. Pick up Great Canadian Meat at our store in Whitby or online at greatcanadianmeat.com.
Unhibernate, verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage, I am going to unhibernate by visiting my local Subaru dealer for a holiday bonus. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience a new level of luxury at Williamsburg Green. Your new single-family home will have all the modern features you dream about, even a fully finished lower level. Kitchener's newest master plan community with bike trails, parks and a new library. Williamsburg Green has it all. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
Take 2 in a truck, 2 in a truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day, Think 2 in a truck, 2 in a truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 men in a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey.
Y'all ready?
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Ottawa able to get it out and have killed off the penalty and a lead pass. Breakaway attempt, scores! This will be interesting. Josh Norris scores the goal. But boy, he was a long way inside the Leaf zone when he finally cradled the puck. And we'll have to get a look at this, but at this point, it's 1-0 Ottawa.
You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs trail 1-0 to the Ottawa Senators in Ottawa after a last-minute goal there by Josh Norris. So let's take a look around the NHL with the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly.
5 games underway, 2 in the first intermission, both scoreless. Boston and Buffalo knotted at 0. San Jose and Detroit in Patrick Kane's debut also knotted at 0. 2-0 LA over Montreal at the Bell Center. And the Islanders lead the Columbus Blue Jackets 1-0. Of course, Ottawa up 1-0 on the Maple Leafs.
Okay, Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call at the second period next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Dak Prescott is playing at an MVP-type level.
When it happens in the NFL, we're reacting to it on Sirius XM NFL Radio.
Minshew and the madness for the Colts. Quarterback that keeps winning, that's going to push a team into the playoffs.
Get closer to the game with interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
Mike Evans, huge day, and he joins us now from the Bucs locker room.
Guys that I looked up to, it means a lot to be in an elite company like that.
Nobody covers the game like Sirius XM NFL Radio, Channel 88.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the Sirius XM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Leafs.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Leafs Radio Network.
Second meeting between these two teams this season. The Leafs losers at home 6-3 to the Ottawa Senators, trail 1-0 on a breakaway goal by Josh Norris at 1933, his 9th of the year. Chychrun gets the lone assist on the goal. And the Ottawa Senators, who badly outplayed the Maple Leafs, outshooting them 16-8. Who badly outplayed the Maple Leafs, outshooting them 16-8.
And the Leafs had the only power play of the period. And going back to that goal, there's got to be much better communication. Number one, they don't get the number 2 power play unit off the ice. So Kelly Yarncroc was still out, technically playing that defensive position. Connor Timmins got caught up ice. They don't get the number 2 power play unit off the ice. So Kelly Yarncroc was still out, technically playing that defensive position. Connor Timmins got caught up ice. Someone from the bench has got to yell that there's somebody lurking in behind them. And the Leafs really asleep at the wheel as Norris picks up the outlet pass from Chychrun. And Leafs really have given up a number of chances off the rush in this game. And having said all that, being outshot 16-8, Joseph Woll is the only reason this is 1-0.
And he made the save of the period off Vladimir Tarasenko.
I mean, can you think of one difficult stop that Anton Forsberg was forced to make at the other end of the 8?
So the Leafs will defend the goal to our left, and the Senators are to the right on your screen as the puck comes up on the wing and is pushed out into the center ice area. And that will force Norris back into his own zone. Sens get it ahead to the line. Brady Tkachuk sends it into the zone. McCabe sidesteps a hit, works into the corner, goes cross ice with it, and unable to handle that cleanly was Nylander, and the Sens have it once again. Boy, the Leafs just do not look sharp at all. Sanderson playing it back into his own zone.
Well, when you can't make those tape-to-tape 20-foot passes.
Played to the line and in. Long shot went wide of the goal from Batherson. Played to the line, kept in at the point by Artem Zub. He gets it around back of the Toronto goal into the near corner. Knocked off the puck there was Stützle. Now around back of the net. Batherson coming out in front and backhanding it wide was Tarasenko. Tarasenko on the far half board. Sends it into the corner to the side of the goal. Woll is able to get a glove on it. And he holds on as Stützle gets spun around a little bit.
Stützle just 5 goals on the season, but still leads the Senators in overall points, 24 points. But one of his big nights was in Toronto, a goal and 3 assists. You already mentioned that 6-3 win for the Senators against Joseph Woll and the Leafs earlier in the season.
Detroit Red Wings hosting San Jose tonight. 0-0 in the second period just starting. And Patrick Kane makes his debut in a Detroit uniform. Here the face-off, one to pass on the short side. Good save coming off Brandstrom stick by Woll. Now Tarasenko. Back to Brandstrom, pass in front, intercepted, and now Tavares gets it up on the left wing for Bertuzzi. He'll launch it in too far. Marner doesn't come up with it. Brandstrom plays it right back up on the wing, and it's pushed out at center ice by Batherson. Batherson to the line, broken up there by Morgan Rielly. Lead pass, Marner's in behind everyone, and in and scores! You give one of these guys just a little bit of an opening, and bang! And Marner ties the game.
But Morgan Rielly makes a great play in his own end. Disrupts the play, picks the puck up on the left wing boards, looks up ice and finds Mitch Marner lurking near the Senators' blue line as the Senators get caught on a bad change. Marner picks it up, walks in on the right wing side and snaps this. I think Forsberg gets a pretty good chunk of this, Joe. But goes under the blocker, over the pad, and into the net, and the Leafs have tied it early here in the second period. 9th
of the year for Mitch Marner. Morgan Rielly will draw one of the assists on it for sure. And for Rielly, his 17th point. And very quickly, on similar goals, breakaway shots, the game is tied 1-1. See if this will put a little more jump in the step of the Maple Leafs, who keep the puck into the Ottawa zone. Nylander off a knee, trying to control it, double teamed on the far boards. Yarncrook over there trying to help out, and the puck does come free. Domi getting it back to the point, long shot, blocked before it reached the net. Up on the left wing now come the Leafs on the left wing side, trying to weaken Domi on the wing, and it was Robertson knocking it just wide of the goal.
Right, Robertson on his off wing, left-handed shot on the right wing. Well, that might have been a little easier to do.
Game's over here? Yeah, I got it. Shot down into the Ottawa zone. Look around the far side. Comes up on the left wing now for Eric Brandstrom. And they'll regroup it and get it to center, where it's backhanded by Parker Kelly into the Leaf end. Puck on near side. And Reeves couldn't come up with it. Right back into the Leaf zone it goes. Woll. And there's a whistle. I'm assuming it's offside. And it'll come back into the center ice area as a result.
Rather emphatic point by the linesman on this.
DJ Smith, the former assistant with the Maple Leafs, his dad, Dennis, was a basketball star with the University of Windsor Lancers circa 1972, with a young Joe Bowen calling the play-by-play at St. Denis Hall. And another basketball player on that team, Jack Moore, Dominic Moore, and the Moore family, the patriarch of that crew that sent all of them to Harvard, most of them into the NHL. So get a nice call here.
You were that close to being the Raptors play-by-play guy.
Well, they weren't even thought about yet.
I think you could have got them there earlier.
I might have. You know, if I'd have brought most of the guys from Windsor who were playing, because we went to the national championship. They went to the national championship 2 of the 3 years I was there. That was a lot of fun. St. Denis Hall, what an old barn that was. My goodness, and it would just rock. Leafs keep the puck in at the blue line into the slot. A pass was in behind Matthews. Matthews unable to get to it. And the Sens will chip it to the line, but not out. Nyes forces it back into the corner. Works to get an angle on his man and does. And Matthews comes out with the puck. Got a shot away. And it was blocked before it reached the front of the net. And now here's a breakaway chance for Tkachuk. And a goal! May have grazed the goalpost and up into the screen.
And you wonder how this happens. I mean, both teams have scored on similar plays, but Brady Tkachuk in behind the Leaf defense, nobody.
One of the
picks it up.
He fell down.
But was still 20 feet away from Tkachuk. Brady Tkachuk, by the way, leads his draft class in goals, points, and penalty minutes. That's the 2018 draft. 138 goals, 294 points, 543 penalty minutes.
Played off the boards out at center, too far for Marner. And then it bounces off a stick and goes out of play. And a face-off coming in neutral ice. 15:47 to go. Brady Tkachuk, 18 points in his career against the Maple Leafs. The Leafs have had pretty good luck here in Ottawa. They are winners of the last 3 and are 4-1-1 in their last 6 visits to the Canadian Tire Center. And in a 1-1 tie. Sens scored late in the period. Leafs scored early in the period. Backhanded into Ottawa territory. Fed around the boards by Brandstrom out at center. Brody got there for Toronto. Fed ahead for Bertuzzi. He didn't get it in deep. And now the Sens from their side of center send it into the corner. Brody whipping it around the boards to the far side. Pass intercepted by Ottawa. Brandstrom centers on the far side. And again, Joseph Woll. Holy Mackinac, he has got Vladimir Tarasenko filled with nightmares tonight when he goes to bed. Second time that he has come across and robbed the former St. Louis Blues.
Now, the first time it happened, Tarasenko bobbled it for a split second. He does the same thing here, Joe. He doesn't let this go as a one-timer off his stick. He stops it first and then gets it back to send it to the net. And that split second allows Joseph Woll to get from his right to his left. Shoulders are square to the shot, and he gets his glove up.
Boy, what a push he gets.
Boy, but for the second time in 25 minutes, Joseph Woll takes an empty net goal away from Tarasenko.
Brought out at center ice by Yarncrook. Leafs dump it into the far corner. Hustling in there after it was Gregor, but it goes off the stick and down towards Woll. He's going to play it on the wing. Benoit sends it around back of the net for Lajoie. Lajoie has it stopped. David Kampf reverses the puck. Lajoie wasn't ready for that. Into the corner now goes Chychrun. Chychrun trying to get it back of the net. Lajoie ties up his man Joseph. And it will be Lajoie getting the puck free, but not able to find anybody. Leafs in their own zone. Chychrun over on the far side. Long shot deflected wide of the Leaf goal. Chipped off the boards. The Leafs are now just going to get it out, courtesy of David Kampf. And they'll regroup it, and Lajoie is back in his own zone. He has struggled a little bit tonight. Max Lajoie plays it off on the right side, and Nick Robertson launches it high into the zone. Puck along the boards far side, played back. Bobby McMahon, William Lagesson, and Mark Giordano, the scratches, of course. And while the Leafs were on the 5-day hiatus, John Klingberg scheduled for surgery. Pass deflects and goes into the screen and out of play. So the Leafs have tied the game on a goal by Mitch Marner. And you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, on the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Bet365 doesn't do ordinary. That's why they've introduced the Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are all in one place. Check out the Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Take 2 minute truck, 2 minute truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2 minute truck, 2 minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Max Lajoie is the latest call-up from the Toronto Marlies, where he had played 14 games and had 5 assists. This is his 72nd NHL game. A native of Quebec City, played his junior hockey out in Swift Current with the Broncos. Was a 5th-round draft pick, 133rd overall with the Ottawa Senators, but played a lot with the Belleville Bulls and then on with Carolina Hurricanes before coming to Toronto and the Marlies from the Chicago Wolves. Toronto left in the Toronto zone, won by the Leafs. Brody plays it out at center for Nylander. He gains the zone into the slot with a shot. That was kicked aside. I'm not sure if that was a shot or hoping for a deflection, but it comes out into the center ice area. Rielly had his head up and looking for someone. Here's Nyes in along the near boards. Taken to the wall. Nylander to Tavares, or to Matthews, who came out in front, swept it wide of the net, kept in at the blue line by Toronto. Matthews into the corner. Nyes couldn't come up with it. Matthews now. Here's Nylander curling in the far corner to Matthews. And he got it away. And one of the people who had no idea where it went was Anton Forsberg.
I'm the other one. But I thought I heard a little metal there. Is Nylander.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
You did. You know what? You have very good ears, because that's a long way away.
What's that? Nylander finds Austin Matthews in the left wing circle. Boy, and he rifles this over the left shoulder.
You can't just do a game, like the normal broadcast crews do, where we just kind of slide through, get all the information in. No.
Well, we're good until somebody throws a ball of tinfoil in front of us.
Puck in the corner.
We're easily distracted.
Bertuzzi sweeping it around the boards. It'll find Timmins. Goes D to D. Just kept in there nicely by McCabe. Long shot in traffic. Deflects wide of the Ottawa goal. Punched up on the wing. And the Sens get it out at center. And here's Kubalik in on the left wing. He's kind of surrounded. Shoots it in. Woll couldn't trap it. It comes back to the point. Ottawa in possession, but it comes out over the line. As unable to keep it in was Jacob Chychrun. Chychrun's had a nice start to his season. 5 goals, 12 points. And insisted on the Norris goal. Played off a stick to the line. Leafs come away with it. Timmins on a delayed offside, gets a return pass, and at center ice shoots it in. Forsberg out of the goal to play it to Chychrun. Chychrun got it up on the wing, but jumping in there was Brody, but he couldn't handle it. And then the Sens panic a little bit and get it out and down the ice. And so an icing call is coming here with 11:45 left to play in the second period, and it is tied at a goal.
The Ottawa Senators aren't going to feel too sorry for the Leafs when it comes to injuries on the blue line. Thomas Chabot missed a lot of time this season with a broken hand, or a hand injury, then came back, played 2 games, and is out of the lineup again in back-to-back nights, which is being described as a lower body injury now.
Played into the corner for Nyes. They scrum it along the boards. Puck. Nyes pushes it a little deeper. Matthews gets to it. Centered in front of the net and went by everybody. And the Sens will get it and get it out at center. Here's Tarasenko. Nice pass in on goal. Oh, and it may have just gone off the tippy toe of Woll, but it goes wide on the short side. Leafs get it back the other way. Cross the line for Nyes. Nyes trying to backhand a pass. was able to knock it down, almost kept it in, but now the Sens get it out at center. Across the line for Batherson, into the slot. Shot blocked there nicely by Lajoie. Leafs countering with Domi. Max Domi in with a shot, and it deflected off the body of the Sens defenseman and went wide. Leafs trying to keep it in, and Domi's onto it. Domi centers back into the slot. Lajoie! And he fired that wide. Lajoie back of the goal. Trying to play it out in front. Intercepted and launched high down into the Toronto zone, forcing Nick Robertson back to the puck.
Well, you were right when you said you were hoping that the goal by Marner early on would spark the Leafs. They've been much better since Marner's tied this game.
Fired down into the Ottawa zone. 10 shots on goal for the Leafs now. 20 for Ottawa. Left wing feed. Dumped by Parker Kelly to center. Broken up at the Leaf defense. Robertson plays it back. Looks for a return pass, but Timmins is going to hold on and allow his winger to get to the bench for a change. 9:57 to go second period. Tied at a goal. Leafs host Nashville on Saturday at Scotiabank Arena. Played around the boards into the near corner. Sanderson got it up on the wing for McEwen, who was given a jolt there by Reeves, and the puck back in the Toronto zone. Ryan Reeves played 3 minutes and change in the period. First period. Now has it on the right wing. Sends a shot from a bad angle. Goes off the stick and up into the screen. And that was a... Gosh, I really hope this gets to the net shot, because that really no chance of much of anything happening. But the Leafs have tied the game on Mitch Marner's breakaway. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The 124th Army-Navy game is on SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84. This is Chris Patola, West Point class of 2002. It's bigger than a game. It's a celebration of our history. It's a reminder of what makes this country great. Coverage from Boston begins tomorrow at 9 Eastern. Tune into College Sports Radio all week long for interviews with military leaders, coaches, and players. Saturday at 3 Eastern, it's the Army-Navy game on College Sports Radio, Channel 84, and the SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with C. Coolius.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots. And the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that. And until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you. They'll wow the fans. They'll win or lose 5-4. But right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
One of the greatest goaltenders of all time. Patrick Waugh, when you put your hands up, did you know at that moment that you were done?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, it happened. Just gave me a chance to have a fresh start somewhere else and be traded to Colorado was a good opportunity. Sometimes you need that little, change, and it was welcome for me.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91. And on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Rielly and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM
and the Leafs Radio Network.
The Leafs won and the Ottawa Senators won. Both goals scored on breakaways. Norris with his 9th and Marner with his 9th. Face off in the Ottawa zone. John Tavares sitting on 996 career points. Wouldn't it be absolutely brilliant if next Monday, when they play on Long Island, that he fired in the 1,000th point to the chorus of serenading Islander fans? I would love it. Here's the puck bouncing out into the center ice area, taken to safety then by McCabe. He'll regroup it. Connor Timmins steps up at the red line, sends a long shoot in around back into the far corner. Leafs get there first. Marner chipping it back to the point. McCabe steps in, got it to Tavares, back to McCabe, to Marner in the far corner. Marner curls, still with it, back into the near corner to Tavares. Return to Marner. Marner to Tavares in front, couldn't get a shot. Then another shot by Bertuzzi, went just wide of the goal. Marner again coming off the corner boards, shot it high and wide. Timmins keeping it in. Best pressure the Leafs have had in the game. And it's launched high out and down the ice by Ottawa, which will bring an icing back into Ottawa territory.
Well, Mitch Marner, the only goal for the Leafs tonight, a couple of games ago against Seattle. Had a 3-goal night, just the second hat-trick of his career. And that came after a 9-game stretch where Marner couldn't score, only had 3 assists during that stretch.
Boy, he set up a couple of chances there, didn't he?
Very nearly. Set up John Tavares with a perfect chance, and then Marner walked out of the corner himself and fired it wide over the glove of Forsberg.
Draw one by Ottawa. Played to the line. Brody was able to keep it in momentarily, and Tarasenko finally gets it out. Leafs right back in on the left wing. Matthews cutting. Got the shot away, but it was up high and wide of the net. Kept in by Toronto. 8:15 to play in the period. 1-1 our score. And again, an icing here by Ottawa. And although the Leafs have not really cut into the shot on goal total, they've only had 2 in this period. Ottawa has had 4. But you're right. It's a much better period. They've had a lot of good looks and a lot of zone time.
Yeah, a lot more jump, even getting in on the forecheck and being able to get some offensive zone time. By the way, the Senators players right now are all at a minute 20 on this shift, although they've iced the puck twice.
Draw one by Toronto. Fed over on the near wing. Rielly sends it around back of the net. Artem Zub got it up on the wing, but not out. Leafs keep it in, but it's pushed out into the center ice area, and that'll get a much-needed change going for Ottawa. Morgan Rielly, bouncing puck that he couldn't contend with. Gobbled up and then stolen back by Rielly. He'll circle back and find Brody and his defense partner with a bank pass to the line for Nylander, who gets it in. Matthews trying to come away with it, rather, and had it taken away by Josh Norris. Pass in on the left wing. Norris went after it, but McCabe reverses the puck for Marner. He tipped it out in front of his own goal, hoping for a pass. Then a shot from the point is kicked away nicely by Joseph Woll. The game stars right now. First star is Joseph Woll. No question. Now the Leafs with Domi working wide. Got a shot away and a good pad save made by Forsberg. Things opening up a little bit here. Sends from center, drill it into the Leaf end, but it caroms all the way back out in center ice and all the way back into the Ottawa. Now that's a good shoot in. When you fire it in from your side of center and end up having to go back into your end of the rink to pick it up.
You got something on that.
Yeah. Where were you guys? Here's Robertson in on the left wing. Lajoie into the corner, plays it back. Robertson playing the point position back behind the net. Lajoie getting it to David Kampf. Kampf to the point to Timmins. Can't send it to the net. Running out of real estate. Cycles the puck around back of the net. Cut off by Travis Hamonic. Timmins pinches then to keep it in, and Robertson couldn't come up with it. And now Ottawa with a long lead pass at center that is bounced in over the line, and Timmins quickly returns and gets it ahead. Here's a chance for Gregor, and he got a shot away on a pad save made by Forsberg. Gregor from about the same spot, but on the opposite side of the ice that he has scored from.
Yeah, he's left wing side. He has sniped all 3 of his goals.
Played into the corner. Reeves couldn't get to it. Reeves with a hit in on the boards, and now here's Ottawa with the puck back in their own zone, and Chychrun getting things organized, and the pass comes ahead, and it's dumped into the Toronto zone. Morgan Rielly holding up his man. That brought a crowd. Reeves got it up on the wing, and it is played out at center ice for Tavares, who is able to get it down into the zone. Tavares going into the corner. Tried to chip it around back of the net. Charche was able to come away with it, and the Leafs then steal it, but have it knocked out at center ice. Great play there by Marner. I'll tell you what, if he was a bigger man, he may have absolutely killed the Ottawa player coming out at the blue line. As it was, he just took the puck from him. But he had a chance to really do some damage. Now a turnover, and here's a breakaway with Joseph in. And Joseph Woll has got another brilliant save. This time off of Joseph.
Well, and I don't know if there was maybe a tripping penalty missed. The Leaf player loses the puck right at the Ottawa line, and then Joseph takes off. He goes backhand, forehand, but the blocker side of Joseph Woll is able to get over and seal it off.
Brilliant game for the youngster. 1-1 is our score. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herwin. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Williamsburg Green is everything you want in a community. Enjoy fabulous trails, parks, playgrounds, sports areas, and more. Our beautiful all-brick homes include luxury features you've always dreamed of, even a fully finished lower level. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like solivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate. As in, while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer for a holiday bonus. And welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Hi, it's Catherine from Great Canadian Meat. Shopping stress? I get it. Dad wants
a motorcycle.
And Mom wants, a 4x4, please. But if you get them what they want, it won't be a surprise. So get them the next best thing. Great Canadian Meat.
Did you get my text? I want a trip to the Bahamas.
As if. Our sweet heat beef jerky is hotter than any beach in the Bahamas. And the guy she hopes to meet there. Keep it real. Get them Great Canadian Meat from our store in Whitby or greatcanadianmeat.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
The cross in front, they score!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph back with you as the Leafs are in a 1-1 tie, and they can thank their lucky stars for the wall that's been playing in front of the Leaf net.
Only 6 shots by Ottawa here in the second period. I can recall 2 rather easily. Tarasenko save, and that one the breakaway save off Matthew Joseph.
Tavares sends the puck down into the Ottawa zone. 4:43 left to play in the period. A 1-1 tie. Marner against the wall, trying to dig it out as Tavares as well, and he does get it back to the point. Just kept in there by Benoit. And now launched high to center ice and down into the Leaf end, forcing Simon Benoit back to retrieve it. Up ahead for Jake McCabe. He skates through the middle. Dishes off on the left wing for Nylander. The puck trying to find Tavares, but went by him. Brought back by Stützle into the slot, and the shot went wide of the Leaf net. Kept in by Tarasenko. Played into the far corner. Batherson with it there. Batherson works back towards the point. Slid it into the corner for Stützle. Stützle battles with Matthews. Back to the point near side. Sanderson. That was knocked away by Woll as well. Far side on a one-timer is whistled wide of the net by Stützle. Tarasenko back of the net. Batherson in front. Stützle fanned on it. Puck is still free. Good pressure here from Ottawa. Down into the corner now is Brody. Can't get to it. Stützle in the far corner. Stützle coming out. Off the stick, and it's going to be deflected out at center ice. The Leafs will get some much-needed change. Bernard Docker back in his own zone.
It's actually in the middle of a change. Tavares, Nylander, and Matthews all out on the ice at the same time.
The Domi line comes on. Played by Docker in across the line. A shot from the point. Stopped and gloved again by Joseph Woll with traffic in front of him. And they've got a lot of the Ottawa Senators talking to him.
Like Josh Norris was the only Ottawa Senator to beat Joseph Woll in this game. I'm not sure what be hard to trash talk him at this point, wouldn't it?
Yep.
24-12, the shots favoring the Ottawa Senators. Like they said, now what are we up to now? 7 shots for Ottawa here in the second period.
Marner scored on a breakaway at 1:42 after the Sens scored with 27 seconds left in period number 1. So all of the scoring is encased in about 2 minutes of game time. Leafs back in their own zone with Timmins. Bank pass ahead, deflects into the zone. Kampf into the forecheck, rubs out his man Hamonic, but the Sens then turn the puck over. Here's Kampf working into the corner, sent it right through the blue paint. No one could get a stick there. Here's McCabe, banking it back to the point. Kept alive on the right wing side for Timmins. Timmins into the far side for McCabe. Sends it towards the net. Back of the net, Tavares. Centering pass. Jammed at. Down is Forsberg. They score! A puck comes free and must have just gone underneath Forsberg. And is it David Kampf who's going to get credit for it with his persistence?
Boy, Tavares made a great play in behind the goal to throw it out to the blue paint. But there seems to be a delayed reaction as Tavares picks it up off the backboards. Yeah, David Kampf gets it through the pads of Forsberg, and it crosses the line by about 6 inches.
Second of the season for Kampf. Sorry, Jimmy.
Yeah, doesn't even get to the back of the net. But John Tavares, a great play from behind the net on a shot that missed the goal, bounced off the backboards. Tavares picked it up, threw it out to Kampf, and the Leafs.
And John Tavares is 3 points shy of 1,000 for his career. Pass ahead now for Marner. Cross the line, backhands it in around back of the net. It'll come up on the left wing boards and played out at center, and Marner intercepts that. He's going to launch it high right back into Ottawa territory. The Leafs, thanks to Joseph Woll, have a 2-1 lead. Left wing side. Brandstrom sends it around back of the Toronto goal. Matthews couldn't get it out. Long shot deflects wide of the Toronto goal. Here's Norris. Turnover. Diving to knock it out at center was Bertuzzi, and Marner just plays it down into the Sens end of the rink. Brought right back up at center. Fired in again and around the boards. It'll be stopped by Woll. He got it up on the wing for Nylander. Nylander gets it airmailed high down into the zone, and Nyes races after it. Nyes tries to send it back. Matthews cutting in, and I think that went off of Sanderson's stick and goes ramping up into the screen after a great bit of work there by Matthew Nyes.
Well, we've talked about how the Florida Panthers are the master of this, that lob the puck out of the zone. Well, Willie Nylander lobs it out of the zone. And Matthew Nyes is able to bust through the Ottawa defense to pick up the puck and then drop it back to Austin Matthews following the play. And those are so hard for the defenders to handle.
McCabe draws the additional assist on the Leaf go-ahead goal. For the first time in the game, they have the lead and a minute left to go in the second period. 8-5, the shots favoring Ottawa in this period. Brought to center ice and in. Batherson rolls it wide of the Leaf goal. Trying to center it in front of the net. It was high in the air, and the Leafs trying to dish it out. Failed to do so. Another shot. Woll with a blocker save made there, and now played by Matthews out at center ice. Boy, just a nonchalant trying to lift the puck over everyone to get it out, and now the Leafs might be getting a penalty. Yes, they are.
Boy, and with 29 seconds to go. And you're talking about how great it is to lob the puck out of your zone. Well,
you got to be able
last time
to do
it. It was Austin Matthews, but didn't get enough on it. It was just knocked down. And the Leafs end up taking the penalty, and the Ottawa Senators will, and this is, who is it? Connor Timmins is going to go as he gets caught. Kind of got danced by Tim Stützle and then has to reach out and double whack him before the Ottawa player went down.
So this is the 86th power play for the Ottawa Senators. The Leafs have had 67 opportunities with the man advantage. Sanderson far side a one-timer, and that was deflected high and wide of the Leaf goal. 22 seconds left in the period, and it's backhanded out and down the ice by Toronto.
Senators just 2 for 24 in their last 6. The Leafs have killed off 21 of 22 in their last 7.
McCabe getting it up on the boards. Got it returned then by Brody and is able to slide it out at center with just 2 seconds left in the period. They'll not even take a shot at the net. The way Woll is playing, I wouldn't be shooting it from there either. At any rate, there is the end of the period. Marner on a breakaway at 1:42. And then David Kampf on a scramble in front of the net at 17:40. And the Maple Leafs score the 2 goals in the middle canto and lead it 2-1.
This game has really been all about goaltending. What do we have? 5 shots for the Leafs, you say, in the second?
I believe. Yep.
2 of them find the back of the net, and the Ottawa Senators had a breakaway and an empty net attempt by Vladimir Tarasenko, who's had 2 in the game. And Joseph Woll has shut him down on both, and really the only reason the Leafs take a 1-goal lead to the third.
25-13, the Senators have outshot the Maple Leafs after 40 minutes, but it is 2-1 Toronto. We'll ship it over to Alish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, on the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The 2023 MLS Cup Final is set, and you can hear all of the pulse-pounding drama on Sirius XM FC.
That is the exclamation point.
It's the Columbus Crew, fresh off a thrilling comeback win over Cincinnati. Playing host to defending champion LAFC.
Finishes it off.
It's a box office MLS Cup Final. Columbus versus LAFC. Extended pregame coverage begins Saturday at 2:30 Eastern, followed by kickoff at 4 on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The Point with Boomer Gordon.
18 months ago, I had new Flyers head coach John Tortorella. And I asked him what he was worried about the club, and he said, I don't like the room. We have a bad room. And I'm like, you haven't even coached this team yet. A year and a half later, John Tortorella loves his room. He loves this team, and he loves that they compete every night.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots. And the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that. And until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you. They'll wow the fans. They'll win or lose 5-4. But right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
One of the greatest goaltenders of all time. Patrick Waugh, when you put your hands up, did you know at that moment that you were done?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, it happened. Just gave me a chance to have a fresh start somewhere else and be traded to Colorado was a good opportunity. Sometimes you need that little, change, and it was welcome for me.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. Under review.
And if someone says, well, he's good in the room, you know what? They don't have a good in the room stat in the standings. I've yet to find that category. It's one of the most overplayed things. They better be good in the room. That's the least you better bring when you join a National Hockey League team.
Under review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores.
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter.
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Radio Network.
From centers on the far side, and again, Joseph Woll. Holy Mackinac, he has got Vladimir Tarasenko filled with nightmares tonight when he goes to bed. Second time that he has come across and robbed the former St. Louis Blues.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. The Maple Leafs lead 2-1 after 2, and that game would be so far out of reach if it wasn't for that guy, Joseph Woll, who robbed Vladimir Tarasenko, robbed outstanding saves, back-to-back periods there. That guy is going to make a voodoo doll of Joseph Woll when he gets home.
Yeah, how did Joe put it? Filled with nightmares?
Yes.
Tough spot to be filled with nightmares, but that's the reality for Vladimir Tarasenko.
Unbelievable.
After that first and second period showing from Joseph Woll. And really, I mean, we could just talk about the 40 minutes. We should just probably talk about Joseph Woll, because he's been so good in this game, and he's been so good lately, and he's been so good for the Maple Leafs this year. Not sure where they'd be without him, frankly. He's stepped up at big times where it seemed like, not that we obviously per game, we make a bigger deal about the game than it really is, but these crucial moments where things could turn one way or another, he's stepped up and he's been available, and that's been the first thing over the last little stretch here, but he's been more than just available. He's been unbelievable in this game. He's been great lately, and really it's only solidifying his position over the last week and a half here that Joseph Woll's net, that's the reality.
This is Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert here in the second intermission. Leafs on the road at the Ottawa Senators, Battle of Ontario. They had a pretty slow first period, if you missed it, but they found a way to bounce back at 2-1. Marner and Kampf getting a goal in that frame. Joseph Woll with some dynamite saves, but it was, I guess, a response from the first period. They didn't come out shot out of a cannon, but they looked a lot better than that first period. As we mentioned, the Maple Leafs hadn't been playing much hockey as of late, so maybe it was just getting back up to game speed, getting their feet under them. Still not the most promising of hockey. They really would be in a completely different state if it wasn't for Joseph Woll, who has been, it's got to be one of the best contracts in the NHL at this point. League minimum for a guy that's this important to a pretty important hockey team.
Yeah, if you get number one goaltending contributions from a goaltender making less than $800,000, then you're definitely getting cost, or you're getting production per dollar cost that you definitely can write home about. But you're right. I think Joseph Woll made probably as many great saves, plus saves, as the Maple Leafs had shots in that period. And maybe that tells the story about the Senators season, where just like bad mistakes, falling asleep at the wrong time. Mitch Marner sprung on a breakaway, never should have happened, but did. And then the game is even or 1-1 when the Ottawa Senators had dominated most of it, and their inability to get it past Woll lets the Maple Leafs hang around and wait for a mistake, and Mitch Marner capitalizes. And then to bookend the period, David Kampf just kind of bangs one in and hangs around the net and is rewarded for it. And the Maple Leafs have a 2-1 lead in a game where they've been soundly outplayed. But again, this follows sort of the same script where it looks pretty poor for the Maple Leafs. It doesn't look that much better, but they're either in the game or leading the game like they are tonight.
I was playing around with Money Puck, website online, of course, before the game stats with Joseph Woll. These will probably change, but 10th in games, goals saved above average, which is 7.3, and 10th in wins above replacement, 1.21 so far in this season. He's probably going to get close to a .920 save percentage after tonight, depending on how the rest of the game goes. But he's got 8 wins in 14 games played with the Leafs this season. And as we mentioned, the price tag makes it even sweeter. And the fact that he was Marley, and he came up through the development system. I think that doesn't happen much. We're always looking for homegrown talent. So I think this Joseph Woll experience, I don't know how you can't love the guy.
Yeah, it's been years. It's maybe a decade since the Maple Leafs have been able to build a goaltender from within. And I don't know what the rule is. They've gone through multitude of different managerial tenures, but you should be trying every draft probably to put a goaltender in the system and to develop, because they are so unpredictable. And Joseph Woll has been unpredictable. I don't think many people thought he was going to emerge into a full-fledged starter. Maybe he's not that yet, but right now he is. And that was something that was not promised to this organization even a year ago.
All right, we'll take a quick break. Leafs lead 2-1 after 2 periods. We'll come back on the other side. Give you a couple more notes. Look around the NHL scoreboard. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
NHL All-Star Thursday is coming to Toronto with 3 exciting events in one star-filled night. First, celebrity captains select their teams in the Tim Hortons NHL All-Star Player Draft. Then, the 1967 Stanley Cup champion Maple Leafs are honored in the NHL Alumni Man of the Year. And finally, the best in women's hockey compete in the Canadian Tire PWHL 3-on-3 Showcase. It's NHL All-Star Thursday on February 1st. Buy tickets now starting at $44 at NHL.com/Thursday.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we've introduced Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are now all in one place. Check out Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Take 2 minute truck, 2 minute truck.ca. So when you gotta move, I'll move and day. Think 2 minute truck, 2 minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
Hi, it's Catherine from Great Canadian Meat. What makes a great gift? Well, I think we can all agree that a gift that's homemade is a great gift. A gift that's the same shape as a stocking, that's important. A gift they can eat, definitely. And if they like to share, a gift you can eat too. Well, that settles it. Our Great Canadian Meat salami and pepperoni sticks are the perfect gift and a perfect addition to your charcuterie board. Pick up Great Canadian Meat at our store in Whitby or online at greatcanadianmeat.com.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick homes are built with upgraded features and elevated finishes. Chef-inspired kitchens, spa-like en-suites, and a fully finished lower level. Even better, Williamsburg Green has parks, playgrounds, and trails to explore. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
What a brilliant move by Willie Nylander, and we have a tie game.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Kept alive on the right wing side for Timmins. Timmins into the far side for McCabe. Sends it towards the net. Back of the net, Tavares. Centering pass. Jammed that down is Forsberg. They score! A puck comes free and must have just gone underneath Forsberg. And is it David Kampf who's going to get credit for it with his persistence?
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Eilish Forvar and Justin Cuthbert here with you. Leafs lead 2-1 after 2 periods. And there's some chaos going around in the rest of the NHL, including this crazy Sharks-Red Wings game. Let's take a look around the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly.
Yeah, let's start there. Detroit and San Jose. It's 4-4 in the second intermission. San Jose has responded with 4 unanswered goals at least to this point. But the record-breaking or the, I guess, approached a record-breaking stretch was 6 goals combined between the Sharks and Red Wings in 3 minutes and 1 second. It's the second fastest 6 goals scored in NHL history. So an absolute wild one there in Detroit. Elsewhere, Buffalo up 2-1 on Boston. So potentially the Maple Leafs can make up some ground. LA just continues to roll up 3-0 on the Montreal Canadiens, 1-1 Columbus and the Islanders, 1-1 Dallas and Washington, and 1-1 the Tampa Bay Lightning and Nashville Predators. And just getting underway, the battle of the 2 off the board first at the last NHL draft, Connor Bedard, Leo Carlsson, Chicago hosting Anaheim. That one is 0-0, 8 minutes in.
That'll be a fun one. First time those two have played each other since getting drafted. No Patrick Kane goal yet in his debut, but Judging by the way that second period went.
They might need one now.
They might need one. All right. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph have the call of the third period next. Maple Leafs are ahead 2-1 after 2. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hey, this is Conan O'Brien. Check out my channel, Conan O'Brien Radio, on SiriusXM 104. You'll find my delightful Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend podcast, highlights from my late-night shows, showcasing some of the most absurd and hilarious moments from my decades on television.
Come on, everyone, settle down. This is a serious TV show.
Plus, dive deep into 28 years of late-night memories and behind-the-scenes with Inside Conan. Conan O'Brien Radio, only on SiriusXM Channel 104. Or listen with the SiriusXM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots. And the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that. And until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you. They'll wow the fans. They'll win or lose 5-4. But right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on SiriusXM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM and the Leafs Radio Network.
Getting ready for the third period, we learned that William Lagesson is not in the lineup because of illness tonight. And so that is why Lajoie has been inserted, I'm sure. But Joseph Woll, 23 saves tonight, and my goodness, he has just gotten into the heads of the Ottawa Senators.
What's the difference in the game you've got between the Red Wings and the San Jose Sharks? It was scoreless after the first.
Yeah.
They combined for 6 goals in 3 minutes and 1 second. For the second period, it's
for the goalie's
4-4 now. Unbelievable. That is the second fastest 6 goals scored in NHL history. The Quebec Nordiques and Washington Capitals.
Wow.
On February 22nd, 1981.
I miss going to
6 goals in 3 minutes even.
I miss going to Quebec.
Okay.
Yeah. The old Colisée was a great old barn.
Did one game out of the new building. Remember a preseason game?
Yeah. So we're underway. Power play in effect here for Ottawa. They break out, moving left to right on your radio dial. Cleared in on the right wing side. Norris taken to the boards. Kampf trying to dig a loose puck free. It's jammed up on the wall. McCabe unable to get to it, but Kampf does. And he's going to get it over on the right wing side. And Marner wastes a little bit more time and then sends it the rest of the way down the ice before heading to the bench. Sanderson breaking out himself, gets into the Toronto zone, backhands off the inboards, cut off by Morgan Rielly, airmailed out and down the ice by Toronto. Goaltender has to wait till it gets into trapezoidal area, but Gregor didn't maybe take advantage of that as much as he could. But with the penalty in effect, he really couldn't, I guess. Giroux back in across the line, bouncing puck into the slot. Leafs get it out and down the ice with 22 seconds left in the penalty. Jacob Chychrun dropping it back. Giroux, a veteran, in over the line. Only Ottawa player from Ontario. Hearst, Ontario. Pass to the near side, intercepted again by the Leafs. And the Senators, it's really not been great penalty killing. It's been really bad passing by the Ottawa Senators. And the Leafs have had no trouble killing this off.
After the struggles Ottawa had coming in, just 2 for 25 now in the last 7 games.
Zub's shot was blocked. Nyes had it knocked off his stick. Senators back in alone in front of the goal. Down again is Woll. The puck is poked back in the net. Oh, he stood up well there against Rourke Chartier. Back to the point, Zub trying to send it in, and it comes out into the center ice area.
Boy, again, though, the Leafs look like they're going to be able to clear the zone. They don't, and everybody gets trapped.
And it's up into the screen and out of play. And Joey Woll has been a stone wall here tonight.
Yeah, this was, I believe it was Matthew Nyes that had it right in front of the Leaf blue line. On the left wing side, looked up to make a play and then had it chopped off his stick.
Cam Talbot and Semyon Varlamov have the second and third lowest save percentages on the road. Joe Woll is up to .952. Centering pass. Bertuzzi couldn't get to it. Played off into the left wing corner, and Sanderson skates it out. He'll get it up on the right wing, trying to play it in over the line. It comes back to the point. Swept in by Sanderson down into the far corner. Leafs lead 2-1. Pass onto the right wing side. Batherson scoops it back into the corner. McCabe back of the net with Timmins, and it comes free to Tavares. And Tavares is going to get it elevated and out at center ice, and now Bertuzzi gets it the rest of the way into Ottawa territory. Batherson got it out. Stützle trying to make a play. Bouncing puck. Leafs bring it right back in. Chanson on the right wing side, and a shot taken there by Domi. Went off a stick and up into the screen. Max Domi came right off the bench and was able to duck around off the right wing.
His first goal of the season last time out against the Boston Bruins. It looks like he's had some jump. But for Max Domi, not a lot of ice time. Just 8:36 of ice time here, and we're nicely 4 minutes into the third period.
Face off in the Ottawa zone. Yarncrook taking the face off. Nick Robertson out there as it comes to Rielly. A shot from the point is into the glove of Forsberg. And he's going to hold on. Just the 14th shot on goal for the Maple Leafs in this hockey game. 25 for Ottawa. We've got 16:55 to go third period. 2-1 Leafs.
Sheldon Keefe has really been bouncing Ryan Reeves between, well, if you want to call it the third line and the fourth line. Now you got Yarncroc back with Domi and Robertson.
It's the old adage about which line were you talking about?
Yeah.
And on the left wing, a drop pass there, and Chychrun couldn't get a shot away. Comes around to the right wing side. Hamonic is able to keep it in. It comes to the side of the goal, and the Leafs play it up onto the right wing. Kept alive there, and now brought out at center by Domi. A 3-on-2 break, and one of the defenders has lost a stick. Pass it for Domi. They score! What a pass to Yarncroc. Max Domi sets it up. And the Leafs open up a 2-goal lead on a rush that saw the Ottawa player lose his stick right at the Leaf blue line.
And Joe, I think the Leafs get away with a slash. And that is what broke the stick of Travis Hamonic. But it was a delay. There was the slash, and it wasn't until Hamonic tried to play the puck that he knew that the stick was broken. And that led to the odd man rush for the Leafs, and Max Domi finishes it off with the perfect cross-crease pass onto the stick of Yarncroc.
6th of the year for Calle Yarncroc.
Boy, I had to look at it again, whether it was Domi or Robertson, but, I mean, that was a slash. If the stick breaks right away, they call that a slashing penalty. Because of the delay, the Leafs get away with it, and are up 2 here into the third period.
Here's Matthews trying to add to it as it's back in the Ottawa zone. Swept at the net, and Nyes couldn't redirect on the doorstep. Played out and down the ice by Ottawa. No icing. Woll is going to punch it around the boards. McCabe doesn't get to it. Giroux does and got a shot in on goal. That was stopped by Woll. Tkachuk working out of the corner. Runs into a traffic jam, but got it into the slot. Another shot swallowed up by Joseph Woll.
Well, the Leafs know the 2-goal lead. You're really going to feel a push from the Senators. The Leafs have not scored a lot off the rush this season, but they've done it here in Ottawa. There's another one. This is a great three-way passing play. But like I said, I mean, I think you're so fortunate that you did not have a slashing penalty that would have put Ottawa on the power play. And Ottawa didn't really seem to argue it either.
Played high to center ice. Grabbed off by David Kampf. Brought in on the right wing. He backhands it at the net. Knocked aside there by Forsberg. Reeves cycling it back for Kampf. Back of the goal he goes. Trying to get around Chychrun, but had difficulties doing that. And now the Sens get it out at center ice and shoot it in. Morgan Rielly paddling in front of his own goal, lost it. Down goes Woll to cover up again on a mistake. It comes back to the point. Kept alive now by Bernard Docker. Fed off to his defense partner. Back to Docker at the high slot. Still with it. Can't shoot it around Gregor. Played down into the corner. Reeves unable to get it out. Here the Senators back to the point. Bernard Docker with it again. A shot, scores. Woll is complaining that it might have been a high stick. And looking back at the bench for this.
A high stick or maybe even goaltender interference. Bernard Docker let it go from the point. He is the first one to the Ottawa bench for the high five, so we assume. No, this isn't.
No, you're right. I don't know what he's complaining about. Did he get tapped on the way by? Trying to look. No. Oh, yes. It was Stützle, I believe, who taps the shaft of his stick. He taps the shaft of his stick, and the stick moves. This is going to be.
This is a tough call to make.
It is, but it's definitely goal interference.
Yeah, it definitely affects his ability to play his position.
Oh, wow. We're not even. Oh, wow.
I think the reason, Joe, is if for whatever reason it's not called back and you got a 3-2 score and you got Ottawa going on the power play.
I suppose.
But I mean, I'm with you.
Yeah. And you know, anybody that's played the position, there's always some cute guy on the other team that comes by and just gives your stick a little tap like that just when the shot's coming, and now you're unable to handle your stick or anything else. I'm really surprised they didn't challenge that. Leafs back to the attack. Marner a shot, and that went high and wide, and now a lead pass out at center is down into the Leaf end. I saw it. Played out into the center ice area and down into Ottawa territory. Forsberg getting it up on the wing, and it's played out at center. 3-2 lead as the Leafs and the Sens have exchanged goals here in the third period. Ryan Reeves on the ice for the minus, and that little statistic isn't getting any better either. Puck along the boards, chipped along the wall by Rielly, trying to knock it up on the boards to get it to Yarncrook. He did, and then it was shot back in. Is it a delayed offside? Yes. Ottawa has to get out of the zone. Domi doing a little interference there on Ridley Gregg, and the Leafs carry to center ice, and Rielly pumps it down into the Ottawa zone. Leafs 3, Senators 2. Good game in the nation's capital. Batherson in across the line with a backhand that was deflected wide of the net. Leafs into the corner, get it ahead. Matthews skates to center. Ahead for Nyes. He fell and lost it in his feet. And Nylander couldn't get it up on the wing. And the Sens have set it in, but I believe it's been whistled down offside. And so a stoppage of play and a faceoff coming in the center ice area. Well, I'm really surprised they didn't challenge that. At any rate, it is a 3-2 Toronto lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The push for the fantasy football playoffs is here, and Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio has the information to help you win.
This is the week to start Denver's Javonte Williams.
15-10, 5 touchdowns. How about
about that? Because every decision is crucial and every point is precious, you need the best fantasy football analysts.
You don't want to be wrong, but you can't be afraid of being right.
Get winning advice right now on Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and the SiriusXM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots. And the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that. And until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you. They'll wow the fans. They'll win or lose 5-4. But right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Work.
First of the season for Bernard Docker. And the Ottawa Senators have climbed back into the game, trailing by 1.
You're right. Even though the Leafs didn't challenge it, they didn't try to buy some time to keep looking at it from different angles. As there was definitely, Tim Stützle comes out from behind the net and makes contact with the shaft of the stick on Joseph Woll. It forces Woll to sort of spin to his left, and the puck beats him to the right.
Played around the boards.
Also mentioned there should have been a penalty on the Toronto goal before that.
Now played by Tkachuk back to the point. Fed over on the right wing side. Sanderson's shot was deflected wide. Tkachuk back at the net, banking it up on the wing to the blue line. Back into the slot again. It goes past Giroux. Left wing side Sanderson. Sharp angle. Stopped there by Woll. Leafs don't get it out. Nyes couldn't get to it at the blue line. Sanderson's pass intercepted, and the Leafs break it out now. Nyes back for Matthews. Matthews in left wing, and the shot, the rebound. Banked off the inboards and almost tipped in off Forsberg. Puck into the far corner. Nyes playing it back to the point. Near side for Morgan Rielly. There's no one in front of the net. And the shot went high over top of the goal. Not sure if the Leafs were changing, or some of them may have been. Now here's Bertuzzi back of the goal, unable to come up with it. And the Sens, Sanderson regroups it in his own zone. Bernard Docker got it ahead out at center. Brought in over the line by Stützle. Off a stick. Corralled by Marner. Marner to Bertuzzi. Back in over the line for Tavares. Tavares trying to hold it off. Goes bouncing wide of the net. Marner unable to get to it. And now here's the Sens playing it back in over the line, only to have it knocked right back out by the Toronto defense. Played high by Stützle into the far corner. Trying to get to it there is Timmins, and he does. McCabe reversing the puck. Running out of real estate is Tavares, but he got it up on the corner, and Marner now gets it. McCabe reversing the puck. Running out of real estate is Tavares, but he got it up on the corner, and Marner now gets it elevated high to center ice. Ottawa back in their own zone. We are 48 seconds away from the midpoint of the third period. The Leafs lead 3-2. Chychrun starting out of his own end. Lost the puck on the far side, but it's cleared in by Ottawa into the right wing boards. McCabe for Domi. Domi got an outlet pass ahead for Robertson, who just gets to center and gets it in over the line. Yarncrook couldn't catch up for him. And Ottawa plays to an open wing. Leafs getting there to chip it back into neutral ice. Sens have to wait for teammates to get onside. Domi's able to come away with the loose puck. And then the pass comes to Domi on left wing. He'll backhand it, but doesn't get it in deep. Now swats at it to get it in over the line and into the corner. Domi after it there, but it is played by Gregor back to the point. Lajoie over on the far side to Connor Timmins. A shot wide was attempted to be redirected in front. Ryan Reeves got a hit in there on the end boards, but now here the Sens back the other way. Chartier sends it in front. Down is Woll. He thought he's been hurt.
Boy, he made a move to his left. And when he stopped the puck, he was very awkward, and this does not look good. He was unable to get back to his feet. After the shot, it was a backhand from a sharp angle. And I don't know what it is. He was just awkward as the puck sort of knuckled towards him. But right away, he felt something.
Yeah, and he went down on his stomach. The puck was off to his left pad and then cleared away. But it really an innocent-looking situation.
Boy.
He's just down in the butterfly.
And I don't know if Martin Jones is going to be coming into this game. But, yeah, they're helping Joseph Woll off the ice.
Boy. Left leg.
9:38 to go in regulation. The Leafs holding on to a 1-goal lead. And Joseph Woll is leaving the ice.
We'll be back. The Leafs lead 3-2, and an injury that you just hate to see. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we've introduced Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are now all in one place. Check out Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like salivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate. As in, while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer for a holiday bonus. And welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Martin Jones comes into the game. Ilya Samsonov has been battling some sort of a virus and a flu bug. And so Martin Jones is the backup goaltender and comes in under some difficult situation here. Although he is certainly a veteran of the National Hockey League. But, boy, you just
better protect him.
You just hate to see how well Joseph Woll was playing, and now, and it's hard to speculate either after watching it a number of times what exactly it was.
Just the backhand from the boards to the left of Joseph Woll. It knuckled towards him, got his hands up in front of his mask to knock it down, and never got back up.
And his left leg.
Yeah,
and that would lead me to think maybe a knee injury. I mean, boy, oh boy. Sens wire it down into the Toronto zone. Give the puck away back of the net. Centering pass. Matthews was there. And he's just going to alley-oop this into the center ice area. And Nyes trying to come up with it. Knocks it himself, but over the bench and into the, or out of play, into the bench of the Ottawa Senators. And 9 minutes remain.
Jones has only played 5 games with the Marlies this year. 2-1-1 record, .870 save percentage, 3.37 goals against average.
Long service with...
with San Jose.
Yep. Played down into the Toronto end.
This means that maybe Dennis Hilton will be going to get his first taste of NHL action.
Timmins loses it. Brought out at center ice. And Bertuzzi, stick handling, gets it in over the line. Trying to wrap it in front of the net was Tavares, who goes for a slide back of the goal. It's played out into the center ice area. Left wing side and chipped in over the line. Played down into the Toronto zone. Left wing side and chipped in over the line. Played down into the Toronto zone. Timmins falls down in a goal and a shot. Whistles high. May have been blockered away there by Jones. It was high. May have been blockered away there by Jones at the last second. Leafs get it ahead, and Marner plays it off the glass. Trying to get it in over the line. A bouncing puck. He's able to swat in a little deeper. Got it back to the net, but Bertuzzi couldn't come up with it. And now the Sens have played it out into the center ice area. Brought to the line and played around back of the Toronto goal. 8 minutes remain in the third, and the Leafs with a 1-goal lead. And right now I'm wishing they had taken a look at the goal that was just scored against Woll. That I think was probably goaltender interference. A 1-goal lead is right on the board now. Played ahead. Gregor gets it down deep into Ottawa territory. Chychrun trying to work his way clear. Matthews hounding him. Back of the net. Matthews got it into the corner. Too far for Nylander, who goes after it himself. Matthews comes out of the scrum with it. Back to the point to McCabe. Now sending it towards the net. Blocked for a rebound. In front of the net. Nice! Looking for Nylander. And it was blocked. Matthews with a drive, and he whistled that wide. And people were ducking to get out of the way of that one. Nyes wipes out his man with a good hit. Brought in now by McCabe. Drop for Willie. Nylander scores! A huge goal for Willie Nylander. And the Leafs open up a 2-goal lead.
Great pressure throughout this shift with numerous opportunities, but it's Willie Nylander. Right-handed shot coming off the left wing side. Looks far side on Forsberg. As TJ Brody looked up, found Jake McCabe. McCabe got the line and then just dropped it to Willie Nylander, who comes off the left wing boards. And from the face-off dot, looks far side and snap Forsberg. And the Leafs have built another 2-goal lead here in the third period, 4-2 Toronto.
13th goal of the season for Willie Nylander. Benoit didn't get it out. A loose puck in front of the goal. Oh, and all alone in front of the net. Was that Giroux or Chartier? But it goes wide of the goal. Kept alive by Toronto and now played off the boards to center. Tkachuk goes back. Marner turning, dropping it back into his own zone. Boy, the Leafs have been guilty of a lot of giveaways. Woll facing 3 breakaways. Brought in by Gregor. Centered in front of the net, and Kampf trying to jam it home. Had to go off the stick wide. Kampf back of the goal. Punches it along the boards. Gregor sends it back of the net. Kampf unable to get to it. Played to the line, not out from the point. A long shot knocked down by Forsberg. And then covered up off the stick of Connor Timmins with 5:54 to play in the third period. The Maple Leafs, who have twice gained a 2-goal lead, lead it by a score of 4-2.
Oh, no break? Oh, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. So what'd you do during the 5 days that we were away? Did you do anything exciting?
Watch some hockey.
Did you watch hockey? That's just great
the
sport,
Senators actually watched Ottawa beat New York Rangers 6-2.
Yes.
Vladimir Tarasenko scored in that game for the Ottawa Senators, which was certainly better luck than he had against Joseph Woll in this game. So it's going to be interesting to see what exactly it is on Joseph Woll. But it's easy to tell it's the left leg, whether it's the knee, hip, or groin. But he had to be helped off the ice and then helped to the dressing room.
32 shots he handled, giving up 2 goals.
I know that Dennis Hildeby's really been the talk of the American Hockey League, but now you're going to have to start looking at that option with unless they can get Samsonov back in. Dennis Hill to be 1.89 goals against average and a .925 save percentage playing with the Marlies. And there's been a lot of talk that he and Joseph Woll could be the goalies of the future for the Leafs. And you got to go back a long time between this. We got to go back to Ken Reggett and Alan Becker.
I was just going to say.
When you say you've got a tandem that were developed. Probably, and in fairness to them, they probably weren't developed when they were pushed in to play for the Leafs in the early 80s.
So the Leafs with a 4-2 lead. Willie Nylander with his 13th goal of the season. McCabe and Brody, who has picked up 2 assists on the night, get the helpers in this one. Face-off coming in the Ottawa zone.
I see more chances, and I mean goals included off the rush in this game than I think we have maybe in the last 5 or 6 games combined.
Yarncrook scrums the draw. The Leafs are able to keep it in. McCabe at the point, banks it back of the goal. Flipped in front of the net then by Domi, but no one there to wrap it home. And Domi's back check, though, takes it away from Matthew Joseph. Now the Leafs starting back. Domi decides to play it back in his own zone. That bounced over Timmins' stick. He's going to reverse it back up on the boards. Good decision because it is Robertson who gets it out, and the Leafs are going to get it right back down into Ottawa territory. Bouncing puck, and Robertson sends a shot towards the net and went wide. Puck back to the blue line now for Rielly. Rielly in along the half boards for Domi, flipping it towards the net. Played back and sends a shot towards the net and went wide. Puck back to the blue line now for Rielly. Rielly in along the half boards for Domi, flipping it towards the net. Played back by the Sens, and it is Joseph trying to carry out at center, sending it off the glove of Rielly into the zone. Rielly plays it off the board. He sends, and it is Joseph trying to carry out at center, sending it off the glove of Rielly into the zone. Rielly plays it off the boards to the line, and Nylander gets it the rest of the way. Now Bernard Docker to the blue line. A delayed offside as one of the Sens fell down trying to stay onside. Ahead for Nyes. Nyes for the Leafs in over the line. Stops up. Backhands it deep in behind the net. Matthews got there but couldn't get it away from Bernard Docker, and neither could Nylander. And now it's cleared out and down the ice. And an icing call coming against Ottawa with 4:34 to go. And the Leafs have done Martin Jones a favor. They have buttoned it up a little bit here, as he has not had a shot on goal as yet. But God, it just breaks your heart.
Right, with all the acrobatic saves Joseph Woll has made in this game.
The least acrobatic is what ends up
dangerous.
Yeah. Well, we'll get word after the game or tomorrow on the severity of the injury, as Bernard Docker now starts out of his own end. Played off the boards to center. Blocked and then over the line now for a shot on goal. Stop the rebound. Another save made by Jones. Oh my, Josh Norris had it bounce over a stick and he was all alone. Played into the corner.
Jones not only stopped the original shot, but then the rebound that was followed up.
Norris, who scored on a breakaway in the first period, couldn't have had a better opportunity than that one, as the Leafs are able to deflect it out and down the ice. Icing waved off. Brandstrom playing it up on the boards. The Leafs are able to keep it in. Into the corner. Centering pass in front. Marner trying to kick it up to his stick and couldn't get a shot. Now Holes sends it around back of the net. Bertuzzi couldn't get it in front to Tavares, who was there. And it is the Senators with 3:25 left in the third period, down 4-2 with the puck in their own zone. Leafs trying to win for the 13th time and 6th in regulation. Played around the... I don't know why everybody's so excited about that. Played in around back of the net. Upended there was Yarncrook, but no call. Down into the corner it goes to Kampf. Personally, I think if you just win, baby. Just win.
Well, I think the case could be made that if all these games are going to overtime, you're just a little above the middle of the pack.
Okay. Played in over the line. The pass goes wide of the Leaf goal. Back of the net. Up on the wing. Chipped along then by the Leafs, and they get it out. Matthews to the red line. He's by himself, bullying his way into the corner, but it's taken away by Jake Sanderson. Sanderson with speed coming down the left wing. Into the Leaf zone. Sharp angle shot missed the net. Rebound controlled there by Nyes. Back of the goal. Fed up for Benoit. Chipped to the blue line, but not out. High stick makes contact, but the Leafs unable to get it out. And a shot. Jones went down and made that save. Kept in now by Ottawa. 2:06 to play. And along another shot. Deflects and blocked. 6 attackers on the ice now for Ottawa. Another shot. Jones stopped that. The rebound in front. Back to the point. Sanderson, a shot, scores. Giroux off to the side, and Sanderson faked the shot and fed it off on the wing. And Giroux gets the Leafs, or at least the Sens, back to within one.
And lots of time left. 1:53. After Jones had come up with a couple of sparkling saves, Willie Nylander, Joe, had a chance to clear the zone, but fanned on the clearing attempt. Ottawa keeps it in. Seconds later, it's a one-goal game again. But Nylander, without a whole lot of pressure, had the puck just to the left of Martin Jones, and in disgust, Nylander slams his stick on the ice. So the goal by Nylander that gave the Leafs a 2-goal lead, and then the giveaway that, and boy, does this go off the post and then off the back of Martin Jones before it crosses the line?
Giroux from Sanderson. And it is Giroux's 8th goal of the season at 18:07. And now with 1:50 to go, it's cleared right back into the Leaf end. Along the boards for Rielly. Rielly gets it out, and it's going to go down into Ottawa territory. And the goaltender still in the net. Plays it up on the boards, and it's down into the Toronto end. Jones again. This time pumps it around the boards for Marner. He gets it backhanded out at center ice. Can't see if the goaltender has left yet. No notification yet. Played back into the Leaf zone. Leafs getting it out off a stick to center. Bertuzzi playing it into Ottawa territory. And Giroux, or at least Bertuzzi after the puck in the far corner. Couldn't get to it. Forsberg still in the net. Bertuzzi knocks it along the boards and keeps it in deep with 1:03 to go. And now we can expect that Forsberg is headed to the bench, and he is. Along the boards end for McCabe. Punched into the near boards. It goes back into the corner. Leafs hanging on to a 1-goal lead, and a penalty coming. And Josh Norris got knocked down.
They're going to say it was a high stick, and Norris is trying to prove that it should be worth 4.
Benoit is getting the gate, just the second power play of the game for either team.
Toronto number 2 has a 2-minute minor penalty for ticking.
And the Leafs are lucky that it's only 2. The Senators score here. This game would probably be headed to overtime, where the second part of the power play would kick in. This is just kind of a scrum in the boards to the left of Martin Jones in the corner.
19:04 the time, Jimmy.
Benoit doesn't like the call, but pretty evident the stick comes up and clips the Ottawa player. By the way, Joseph Woll had shoulder problems and then came back and had a ankle problem, and you hope it's not
recurring.
By the way, Joseph Woll had shoulder problems and then came back and had a ankle problem, and you hope it's not
recurring of that. Yeah.
But if you're just joining us, Joseph Woll, who has been brilliant in this game, left midway through the third period with what appears to be just a fluke injury on a backhand from the left wing boards. Boards to the left of Woll. He made the save and then fell awkwardly and never did get back up. 50.3 seconds to go here in the third period.
Only good thing about being a man short is you can ice the puck with the net empty at the other end of the rink. So a face-off is fairly important here.
Leafs have won 57% of the face-offs. As usual, John Tavares leading with winning 10 out of 14, but David Kampf about to take this big draw.
Marner, the forward, along with Rielly and McCabe and Brody. Kampf leaning hard, wins the draw, and it's rattled around the boards, but it's not going to clear. Kept in by Stützle. Back to the point goes Sanderson. Off on the wing for Norris. Back to the point, Sanderson to Norris, the one-timer, and that blasted wide of the goal. Back to the point again, Sanderson to Norris again, and down. Deeper in the net this time, but Martin Jones is able to swallow it up and hold for a face-off.
In the middle of this play, the lights went dim. And you could see Martin Jones react to it as if to say, like, what are we doing here?
And then they came back on.
They came back on, and Jones eventually makes the stop and holds on.
Someone's got to pay the bills. Face off to the left of Jones.
Jones is going to be saying, this league's a lot harder than I remembered. Going into a one-goal game in the third, and they turn the lights out.
Flash the lights. Senators win the draw. Sanderson over on the left wing side, down into the corner. 26 seconds left. Centering pass doesn't work. It comes back to the point. Sanderson, one-timer again, blocked nicely by McCabe. Norris into the corner. Back around behind the net. It comes up on the far side. Kampf can't reach it. Back to the blue line. It comes to Sanderson. Again to Norris, a shot. That's blocked. Cleared on the boards, but not out. Norris again on the wall. 5 seconds left. Pinning it there is the Leafs, and they're going to pull out one in Ottawa. Martin Jones comes in to pinch hit for the injured Joseph Woll, who I think is still a game star in this one. Maybe we give it to the goaltending tandem.
I was going to say that. I know Martin Jones does give up a goal in this game.
Anyway, it's brought to you by Molson, the 3-star.
Why wouldn't it be?
Why
it has
wouldn't
been
it
for
be?
years.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll go. If we're going to start 1 to 3, Joe, we'll go with Joseph Woll, star number 1. I am going to throw in Martin Jones for star number 3. He does give up a goal and made 2 great stops when he first came in. And then the Leafs were able to take the 2-goal lead again with Willie Nylander at the other end of the ice. And star number 3, what do you want to go for? You want to maybe go... I mean, Nylander has the game-winning goal. Let's go David Kampf.
Yep.
As David Kampf, great job in the penalty kill late, scored his 2nd goal of the season. And it was a strange game where the Stars really weren't the Stars on either team, even though some of them showed up on the score sheet. It was more of a game of odd-man rushes and terrible back-checking at times that led to a lot of the goals.
A lot of breakaways in this one for both teams. So the Leafs win it 4-3. They will tangle with the Nashville Predators on Saturday night at Scotiabank Arena. We'll have all of that action for you. Until then, we're shipping it off to Alish Forsfar and Justin Cuthbert with our post-game show. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan on the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Santa baby, bring on the merry and bring on the bright. Sing along with modern holiday hits on Holly, Channel 79. Or revisit Christmas Past with the nostalgic sound of holiday traditions on Channel 71.
Christmas.
Listen now through Christmas Day and enjoy dozens of unique holiday channels anytime you want in the SiriusXM app.
24/7 Hockey Talk.
One of the greatest goaltenders of all time, Patrick Waugh. When you put your hands up, did you know at that moment that you were done?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, it happened. Just gave me a chance to have a fresh start somewhere else and be traded to Colorado was a good opportunity. Sometimes you need that little, change, and it was welcome for me.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91. And on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
18 months ago, I had New Flyers head coach John Tortorella. And I asked him what he was worried about the club, and he said, I don't like the room. We have a bad room. And I'm like, you haven't even coached this team yet. A year and a half later, John Tortorella loves his room. He loves this team, and he loves that they compete every night.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Rielly, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
24 Rogers NHL All-Star Game. You can visit Lone Star Texas Grill for an ice-cold Texas-sized Molson Canadian. Visit Lone Star Texas Grill for an ice-cold Texas-sized Molson Canadian and your chance to win seats at the first All-Star Game in Canada since 2012. Go from sizzling hot fajitas to sizzling hot puck handling. Win a trip to the NHL All-Star Game from Lone Star Texas Grill. Must be legal drinking age. No purchase necessary. Learn more at lonestar.ca.
The holidays.
Puck handling. Win a trip to the NHL All-Star Game from Lone Star Texas Grill. Must be legal drinking age. No purchase necessary. Learn more at lonestar.ca.
The holidays can be a busy time filled with friends and family, get-togethers and gift-giving, long days, late nights, crowded shops and busy streets. But what if there was a place where you could slow it all down? The Thermea Spa Village, a world of bathing havens and breathtaking views. Give the gift of Thermea and invite someone to experience a holiday that unfolds at their own speed. Visit Thermea.com to purchase a gift certificate for someone you love.
At Easy Home, we understand the holidays are meant to be special. That's why we're offering holiday savings up to 60%. At Easy Home, we understand the holidays are meant to be special. That's why we're offering holiday savings up to 60% on the perfect gifts for everyone, with no credit needed and flexible payment plans for you. Can't find the perfect gift in store? You can explore, find, and finance with our Anything from Anywhere program. And if you need a little extra holiday help, Easy Home offers loans up to $20,000. Plus, every on-time payment can help build your credit score. Visit easyhome.ca or your local store and make your holidays a little more special. Easy Home. Lease it, love it, own it. Conditions apply.
Do you have rooms in your home that are out of bounds because of too much stuff? Make a fast break to Access Storage. Access Storage offers safe, affordable, and flexible storage to create the space you need on your home court. Try 4 weeks free at one of over 100 Ontario locations. Visit accessstorage.ca and transition easily to more space in your home. Access Storage, proud partner of the Toronto Raptors.
It was a rainy day when Pizzaville realised that some big pizza conglomerates want to make the cheapest pizza. Some want to be the fastest. At Pizzaville, we want to make the best pizza. Stone-baked, the traditional Italian way. It's what we strive for every day. To be the best, not the fastest or the cheapest. Oh, cue the announcer.
Pizzaville Stone-Baked Pizza. Fiercely Canadian. Authentically Italian.
College basketball is coming to Toronto with a doubleheader on December 9th at the Coca-Cola Coliseum. Come watch Toronto's own and reigning National Player of the Year, Zach Edey, lead Purdue in a showdown against Alabama, followed by an exciting matchup between TCU and Clemson. Don't miss your chance to be part of Zach Edey's much-anticipated return to the Six. Secure your seats now. Tickets for the Hall of Fame Series Toronto are available at HOFseries.com. That's HOFseries.com.
Kept alive there and now brought out at center by Domi. A 3-on-2 break and one of the defenders has lost a stick. Pass it for Domi. They score! What a pass to Yarncrook. Max Domi sets it up. And the Leafs open up a 2-goal lead on a rush that saw the Ottawa player lose his stick right at the Leaf blue line.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forvar and Justin Cuthbert here. Maple Leafs win in regulation. Yes, you heard that right. In regulation, they did it. They now
Did it feel more decisive, though? At any point, did it feel more decisive?
Like it was slipping away. We have lots to go through. If you're looking for Leafs Talk with JD Bunkus and Sam McKee, you can find that on Sportsnet Plus and YouTube streaming. We've got the radio version for you here for the next little bit. There's lots to talk about. Joseph Woll, of course, his injury. Maple Leafs still finding a way to win in regulation, which is honestly feels relief, but at the same time, it did not come easy. But let's start with the story of the game, because we, for 2 periods, came in here so overjoyed about Joseph Woll's performance. Felt like a breakout performance. He had been trending upwards every start that he had, but something about tonight's game, he was on another level. Every save was spectacular. It's like he wasn't making normal, like dumb saves or boring saves. They were outstanding. The ones on Vladimir Tarasenko, I know you heard Joe Bowen say them multiple times, but It was looking beautiful. We felt like the future was in our hands with Joseph Woll.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, it's a weird play. And I know they tried to break it down on the radio for us here too, but it looks like just like a simple save. He's grabbing his left leg, immediately has to get helped off the ice, could not put weight on it. Very scary thing when it's a knee, when it's a leg, especially when immediately you could tell like he couldn't even get up from the butterfly position because there was so much pain, and didn't obviously make a return to the game.
Yeah, when it gives out on you, that's a little scary, right? Because the broadcast was showing, hey, maybe he was kind of like banged up a little bit, but was like if it wasn't extreme pain, you're just fighting
still making
through
amazing
whatever.
saves.
But when it starts to just give out, that's when it's kind of scary, right? So we don't know. Maybe we'll get an update. We probably won't. But right now, it doesn't look like Joseph Woll is going to be playing net for the Toronto Maple Leafs like in the immediate future here. And as Ilya Samsonov has dealt with this sickness that seems like it's last forever, picked up in Sweden, I have no idea. It's been like this forever, it seems like. Joseph Woll was having his kind of coronation moment where it's just like, oh, it's Joseph Woll now. And we're totally and completely okay with this. And now they're going to have to go back on that a little bit. Now the health and wellness of Ilya Samsonov seems paramount because Martin Jones came in, and Martin Jones has not had good numbers in the NHL for a very long time. Seems fine as a third goalie, was able to do enough to get, not the victory, but was able to do enough to close out this win for the Maple Leafs. But do you want to rely on him? And that's going to be the question here moving forward. Again, we got to get the full prognosis here on Joseph Woll, but it does not look like that at the very least won't be cut short here because Joseph Woll was in serious pain, was not weight-bearing whatsoever, went off the ice very gingerly. So this is as bad of a situation, I think, as you could have imagined. Despite getting the victory in regulation.
Yeah, it was a tough watch, of course, and then we were all anticipating what would be Martin Jones's moment in the net. He did let it go in, and it was just, I don't know. You mean the guy hasn't played a game since last April, was it?
But you mentioned, a little slow to get over there.
Yeah,
not that was an easy save.
For sure. You mean the guy hasn't played a game since last April, was it?
But you mentioned, a little slow to get over there.
Yeah,
not that was an easy save,
for
but
sure.
It did not seem like
his
he was...
His post-to-post speed was quite slow.
Yeah.
But his last NHL game was April 8th. He's obviously going in with a red-hot goaltender, Joseph Woll, with an injury. You don't get a lot of time to warm up. You get thrust in the net. You're kind of figuring it out, stretching it out, and obviously Ottawa was pouring on the pressure. I will say credit to the Leafs. They got a goal pretty soon after Woll was taken off the ice.
So I guess Jones did get the victory then.
Why is that?
Stuck around for the... he was on the ice for the fourth goal. The fourth goal was the winner?
Oh, I didn't know that's
I'm
a
not
criteria.
actually sure. We'll check that.
You know what? Why don't they split it?
They could. Just divvy that up,
point
boys.
for each. But I will say that Maple Leafs, obviously seeing your goaltender who's been so consistent get injured, of course, you're kind of like, okay, now what? But they poured it on right away. I'll say that's a credit to them. Like, oh, we need to get an insurance goal because not to say that they didn't trust Martin Jones, but who is Martin Jones to the Maple Leafs, right? So that was good. It comes back 4-3. They had a 6-on-4 opportunity there at the end of the game. They found a way to hold onto the lead, and they get that regulation win. But we'll be scouring the internet for a Sheldon Keefe post-game remarks to see what they have to say about Joseph Woll. But I assume what we're going to hear is MRI. Going to find out more when they get back to Toronto. I guess they take a plane to Ottawa. It's still a quick one, but like there could be worse, longer trips to have to wait on an airplane. What is it, like 40 minutes to get to Ottawa? Could be, I guess, the best case scenario in terms of having to get home for Joseph Woll tonight.
So there are obvious benefits to having a goaltender earning less than $800,000 be your number one, right? Cost efficiency, obviously chief among them. Like that's a great situation to be in. The fact that Joseph Woll will earn that same amount next season makes the situation even better for the Maple Leafs.
But what if you go in LTIR?
The downside is, though, pretty much anyone else gets hurt.
Is there even a goalie that makes that amount, just like that pocket of money? There another goalie?
There would be. I mean, Martin Jones is probably in that category. But this is the problem. There is absolutely zero cap relief with Joseph Woll going down. Because any replacement has to earn just as much or more. So, yeah, Matt Murray, not available. That's great. You get to spend that money. John Klingberg, hey, the Maple Leafs are going to bring in 2 defensemen to fill the John Klingberg salary by the time we reach the trade deadline. But with Joseph
Can't
Woll,
even bring in half a goalie.
you can't do anything.
Martin Jones is $875.
So you can't even get a Martin Jones in. It was a minor league contract, essentially. This is an AHL deal being used at the NHL level by all intents and purposes. So it is a really sticky situation for that reason. There is absolutely no cap relief coming from losing Joseph Woll, losing your starting goaltender, and that's definitely a unique position to be in. So a bit of a double-edged sword leaning on a guy with an AHL deal to be your number one goaltender, because if he's not around, there's nowhere to turn.
And it's so funny. One intermission ago, I was like, he's one of the best contracts in hockey. This guy making league min, he's your starting goaltender, and how quickly things can change. So let's say that he's out for a month. Let's pick a nice, even month.
Sure.
Martin Jones and Ilya Samsonov would be your tandem. Obviously, Ilya Samsonov will be starting a majority of these games. We started our show earlier at 6 p.m. We've been grinding today, talking about how the Maple Leafs have like 15 games this month. It feels like they have so much hockey to be played this month, including multiple back-to-backs. So you're going to see Martin Jones in net. There's just no question about it. Next week, they already have a back-to-back Monday and Tuesday. So even as soon as next week, you're going to see Martin Jones play in an actual NHL game. That is being said if Ilya Samsonov's healthy. Like, he's been sick. He hasn't been taking regular practices or even like a pregame skate because he's ill. So how quickly can you turn it around? Because the Leafs play on Saturday. Today is Thursday. They're going to have someone in net on Saturday night.
Yeah, and it could very well be Martin Jones. And again, if we're grading out the third goaltenders on teams, I think Martin Jones would grade out pretty high. This isn't a Michael Hutchinson situation where you had to have him play games and it was almost like you were giving up the 2 points right then and there. A couple years ago, Hutchinson just was not that guy. Couldn't be a serviceable NHL goaltender despite being slotted as a American Hockey League goaltender. I have a little bit more hope for Martin Jones. I think he can be at least passable for the second half of a back-to-back or a spot start here and there, what have you. But what I think we get here, if there's a silver lining, is that you get to find out a little bit more about Ilya Samsonov. I mean,